Two other numbers for the Texas Roadhouse giveaway. A blue ticket, Texas Roadhouse certificate, number 983419, 983419, and a red Texas Roadhouse certificate. The red ticket number 092705, 092705. Also, winners of Texas Roadhouse gift cards. Well, of course, some homework to finish up before we start with this afternoon's festivities. Pole Award as presented again by the WLR Construction Company. Fastest timer yesterday here at the Orange County Fair Speedway for Big Block Modifieds was Brett Hearn. And Brett picking up $1,000 from the WLR Construction Company, longtime sponsor of the Pole Award here at the Orange County Speedway. Gonna congratulate him right now, getting his picture taken. Hearn, fast timer and time trials for Big Blocks on Friday. Set fast time along with Jeff Hessler, second fast time. The Jeffer will also get $1,000 for the outside pole award. So both front row recipients of a $1,000 paycheck. Your front row for the Eastern States 200. Well, Brett Hearn picking up $1,000. Hey, that gets you going, doesn't it?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, it's always nice to lay down a good lap, and I've spent many of these ceremonies with Bill Rumsey and WLR for the fast time, and it feels really good.
All right, you ate your Cheerios, you're ready to go, right?
Absolutely.
All right, hey, Bill Rumsey, thank you for your long-time support here at the Orange County Speedway, $1,000 for pole. Thank you so much for continuing to help us out here.
Hey, it's all good. I'm really happy to see what Chris has done with this place, and looking forward to, a lot more from Chris. He's doing a great job.
You've done a great job for us so many years. Bill Rumsey, the WLR Construction Company, thank you so much. Pole Award provider of a $1,000 paycheck. Outside pole is Jeff Hessler. He gets another $1,000 from all of our sponsors out here this weekend. Arkel Motors, Halmar International, Orange Motorsports and Entertainment, Budweiser, WLR, and Pine Bush Equipment Company, all providing the outside pole award of $1,000 to the Jeffer, Jeff Hessler. So as our crews begin to get their drivers suited in, all pit crew please off the speedway at this time. All pit crew members please leave the home stretch at this time. Thank you. Here's a memento, 57th anniversary of Eastern States and 57th birthday for Michael Sancelli. That only happens one time in your life, I'll tell you that much. So happy birthday to Michael Sancelli, race director here at the Orange County Speedway. There's the birthday salute from Gary, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would ask everyone to please rise. Everyone, please remove your hats first for this afternoon's invocation. Heavenly Father, you have created us and created this great world in which we live. You have placed us on this earth to love and care for one another. Please give us the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, and most especially the common sense to follow your will, so that one day when we return to your house, we hear you say, "Well done, our good and faithful servant." Please keep us safe on this glorious afternoon. In your name, we do pray. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing at this time. For many of our friends from the North Country that came down as witnesses, fans, drivers, and race fans this afternoon, to honor our friends from the North Country, Rick Ryder will now deliver our Canadian anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons' commands. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you very much, Rick Ryder. Ladies and gentlemen, as we stand in honor of this great race here this afternoon, we'd like to just split this up just for a brief second. The two gentlemen that have made this afternoon possible. One has kept the doors open when the hinges were rusty. One has replaced the hinges. At this time, we'd like to give the microphone to Michael Gerda and Chris Larson from Halmar International.
Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, first of all, I can't thank everybody enough for coming out. You guys are the best fans in stock car racing, and I couldn't be more excited to be doing the improvements that Chris has enabled me to be able to do this year. And I can't thank my staff enough to hang in there for all these years. We have a lot of great things coming here to Orange County. It's going to get bigger and better every year, and I can't say thanks to Chris enough. Thank you, everybody, for coming out.
Hey, are you guys ready to see a great race? This is one awesome field of competitors, and I just can't wait for the race to start. I just want to echo what Mike said by thanking everybody who came out this weekend. It's been an amazing 4 days. Our attendance is topped 25,000 for the first time in history, and we're just getting started, and next year is going to be better, and I hope everybody enjoys themselves today, and it's going to be a great race. Thank you all for coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, a standing ovation for the two men that have made it possible. Michael Gerda III and Chris Larson from Halmar International. Well, you're standing and your hats are still off. Ladies and gentlemen, to honor this great country in which we reside, to pay tribute to our troops, past and present, which allow us to stand here in freedom today, and to pay tribute to the greatest nation under God. And this time we welcome back our special guest, Mr. Dan Depew, former Town of Wallkill supervisor, now the Deputy County Manager of the Sullivan County area. He will deliver this afternoon's national anthem. Dan?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early lines what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Mr. Dan Depew. An awesome deliverance of our country's national anthem. Deputy County Manager of the Sullivan County area and former Town of Wallkill Supervisor, who has been such a long-time friend to the Orange County Fair Speedway. We thank him for coming out and spending Eastern States Sunday with us.
Stuart, how important is this race to you?
Oh man, this is obviously the most historical, longest running modified race we have now.
Well, obviously, this is the granddaddy of the short track 200s, you know.
Yeah, no, it's the one. I've been coming here since I was a kid, and never honestly thought I'd even be racing dirt modifieds on the track. So just to have the opportunity to start the race is great.
A lot of people, family, friends come for the event. A lot of crew guys that put in long hours.
Everybody knows what Eastern States is. It's a hard race to learn, I think, and to be good at, and you know that's part of what makes it special too.
This event's huge, you know what I mean? It's been around forever, longer than anything we're doing right now.
Just the history here, you know, they've been racing, you know, over 100 years now, so that's a pretty cool part about it. And you know, love coming here. The atmosphere is always cool. It's always a great party and a great race.
I remember coming here and sitting in the Fort Dern bleachers when I was 10 years old and watching the Eastern States 200.
This has always been a huge event. I mean, look at the history of the place and look at the people that have won it. And it's a big race, one of the big ones.
14th row, 28th in this afternoon's lineup from Potsdam, Massachusetts with the St. Lawrence Radiology 7M car, Mikey Mariska. On the inside, starting in spot number 27 with the Schottmeyer brothers, Piercefield Properties 33 to third car, the Teacher's Pet, Tommy Meyer. 13th row on the outside, spot 26 from Gardnerville, New York, in the Schultz Ford McGannon Excavating 21M car, Big Brother Bobby McGannon. On the inside, starting in spot number 25 from Kings Ferry, New York, in the Bush 2 Chevrolet, number 88 car, Mike Mahaney. 12th row, starting in spot 24 from Guilderland, New York, in the Johnson's Racing 3J car, this is Mark Johnson. On the inside from Sprakers with the Halmar International 1ZT's 1Z car, Jessica Zemkin-Friesen. 11th row, spot number 22 on the outside from Wallkill, New York, with the America's first number 1 car, Tyler Dipple. To the left side, spot number 21 belongs to the 11A car from New Milford, Connecticut. The Newtown Pool sponsor Big Block, Kyle Armstrong. 10th row, spot number 20 from Sheffield, Massachusetts, in the Garrity Asphalt number 4 car, the Wild Child, Andy Bacchetti. On the inside, from Sprakers, New York, riding aboard the Halmar International 44 car, it's Stewie Sturt Friesen. 9th row, spot number 18, out of Frenchtown, New Jersey, in the Pasquale Racing Products number 3 car, the Kids Kid, Billy Pouch Jr. On the inside, from Hellertown, Pennsylvania, the Blinderman & Sons Recycling number 7 car, it's the Quaker Shaker, Scooby Rick Labach. 8th row, spot number 16 on the outside from St. Catharines, Ontario, with the Barron Speed Center number 3 car, Matt Williamson. Left of Matt, spot number 15 from Mooresville, North Carolina, the Textron Off-Road number 6 car, Bad Max McLaughlin. 7th row, spot number 14 from Waterloo, New York, and the Dentist Company's number 9 car, Super Matt Shepard. To the left side of Matt on the inside of row 7, 13th spot from Wallkill, New York, in the number 93 car. The Synergy Products 93 car is Hollywood, Craig Mitchell. 6th row on the outside from right here in Middletown, in the Superior Remodeling number 44 car, Kid Giddyup, Anthony Perego. On the inside from Warwick, in the Halmar International 17J car, this is Matt Jiniak. 5th row, spot number 10 from Dwaynesburg, New York, the Mickles Automotive number 2 RJ car, Ronnie Johnson. On the inside, spot number 9 from Baldwinsville, in the JMB Installations number 98 H car, Jimmy Phelps. 4th row on the outside, and spot number 8 from Rochester, New York, in the Shackleton Napa number 21J car, the Doctor of Big Blockology, Danny Johnson. On the inside, starting in spot number 7, from West Sand Lake, New York, the S&S Asphalt number 115 car, this is Kenny Tremont. 3rd row, spot number 6 on the outside, from Brisbane, Australia, in the Troyer Race Cars number 21A car, Batman Peter Britton. On the inside, from Unadilla, New York, the Smith Site Development number 91 car, he'll start spot number 5 this afternoon, it's Billy Decker. In row number 2, on the outside, out of Ringgoes, New Jersey, in the Escape RV number 5 car, the Ringgoes Rockin', it's Ryan Godown. To the left side, starting in spot number 3, with the St. Lawrence Radiology number 19 car from Edwards, New York, Timmy Fuller. And your front row for the 57th anniversary of the Eastern States Racing Festival. On the outside, he will start in spot number 2 on a Wallkill, New York, the Extreme Energy Solutions J17 car, the Jeff Hetzler. And again, the most winningest driver in the history of the Orange County Fair Speedway, from Sussex, New Jersey, with the Metal Plus number 20 car. You know him as the corporate champ, we know him as the commander, Brad Hurd. Well, there you have it, the starting lineup for the 2018 running of the Eastern States 200 for Big Block Modifieds. Now, assembled down here are Bevy of beauties, all of our beauty queens from the tri-state area. Christina Contento, Miss Orange County Fair Speedway. Meadow Monaco, Little Miss Orange County. Carla Henderson coming up, of course. She's Miss Racing Extravaganza. Leslie Donegan, Miss Motorsports is right here. And the beautiful Stephanie Danielle, WLR Construction Company is the representative again. Ladies, if you will, the four most powerful words in the world of dirt track stock car racing.
Drivers, start your engine!
All right, there you have it. The command is now given for the start of this historic racing festival here in Middletown, New York.
Well, of course, pacing the field, one of the most notorious stock cars in the history of stock car racing here in the Northeast, the Batmobile. Gary Ballou was the pilot of that car back in the 80s at Syracuse. That changed the world of stock car racing as we know it this very day. Ballou is in that 112 car. He'll join us in a little while up here in the announcer's tower. And the restored Ferriola 73 car, Billy Osmond, Gary Ballou, Anthony Ferriola, they all drove in that car. And one of the most winningest cars here in the Orange County Speedway era as well. They restored that car to its original beauty. They will pace the field here this afternoon. Well, to those of you picking us up on live streaming all throughout the world, a beautiful welcome to the Orange County Fair Speedway here in Middletown, New York for the historic running of the 57th Annual Eastern States Racing Festival. 200 laps of big block modified excitement. These guys have been here for 4 days working for this very event. They roll away right now. Give them a couple of laps under yellow. Let them pace the field. We'll let them also figure out where their pit stalls are down Short Chute Road here as well along the Orange County Speedway straight stretch. They'll give their salute to you, and we'll ask you to give your salute to them as well. A little bit of information, of course, one mandatory pit stop must be made after lap number 30. After lap number 30, the mandatory pit stop must be made. 180 laps, cautions will count. The last 20 laps of the Eastern States 200 must be run under the powers of the green flag. So cautions will not count after lap 180. back row has been added to this lineup. Provisional starter in 45th starting spot, the number 10 car, the Van Graal Heating and Air Conditioning car, will be Richie Urich. His team car with the Tampa Terror, the wily one, Will Kegel, going to take a couple of laps in the backup Urich car out here this afternoon. Making up row number 23, he'll be in the 10C car. So the legendary Will Kegel, winner of this event many times over, track champion, of course, and he has had an illustrious career in stock car racing. Was my former boss for about 6 years here at the Orange County Speedway, the late 80s and early 90s. Will Kegel was in that Urich car back there on the outside of the front row. Will actually had 4-time wins, 4 times a winner here in the Orange County Fair Speedway 200, 5 modified championships, and 47 total feature wins here at the Orange County Speedway. Richie Urich won this event back in 1988 and has had 50 modified wins and 3 track championships here at the legendary House of Power. They are making up row number 23. Boy, what a beautiful front row that is. That is what postcards are made of in the stock car racing fans' hearts all across the Northeast. The 112, the Batmobile, the car that changed dirt track stock car racing forever. With its original pilot, Gary Ballou, been our special guest all weekend here at the Orange County Speedway. Once he gets out of that car, he'll be coming up here to the announcer's tower, the broadcast booth, and he'll be offering color commentary again, just like he did yesterday for the 100. So he'll be our special guest up here, and he has an insight that nobody else can offer to the racing public here, both on the campus of the Orange County Fairgrounds and for the millions of you joining us at home through live streaming. Welcome to our house, the legendary House of Power here in Middletown, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, as they come down on turn number 4 this time, our big block modified contenders for this afternoon's 200 will salute you. We ask you that you return the salute. Hats, hands, handkerchiefs, hot dogs, hamburgers, racing programs. Get up off your feet right now and wave at these drivers as they go by. This is the greatest assemblance of talent in the world of big block modified racing here in the United States of America. They are about to present to you a $173,000 trip around the lightning fast 5/8 mile hard clay oval, as we know, the Orange County Fair Speedway. Backstretch drive-in. They can see the lights out here in the afternoon sunlight. Not a problem at all. Flash those lights and wish these 46 drivers well on a quest to victory out here this afternoon. The world's greatest tailgate party is our backstretch drive-in here at the Orange County Speedway. And our tailgate party doesn't end at kickoff. It goes right down to the checkered flag and a long time thereafter. Thank you, backstretch drive-in. We could not do it without you. Here are the cars right now getting back in their double file formation and set for their look at the pit stalls down the home straightaway. Still pacing the field is our 2 legendary restored modifieds, Gary Ballou, the 112 car, and the famed Anthony Ferriola 73 car. Anthony Ferriola, the 4th, drove that car. Billy Osmond, Gary Ballou. Pace truck up there, the Orange County Fair pace truck. Buck Morrow behind the controls of the brand new Chevrolet pace truck. Field works by down this time. We'll get him back in 2x2 formation. We'll get Gary up there back into the pit area. He'll put that car back in the trailer. They come up here and join us in the broadcast tower. Well, our honorary pace cars now have left the racing surface. Brett Hearn up there, Jeff Hetzler, the Jeffer. 2 very, very notorious drivers here at the Orange County Fair Speedway. Boy, the Jeffer pulling in fast time yesterday, 60 years of age. This guy has not forgotten the fast way around. He has 52 modified wins, 4 track championships, and last won this event back in 2004. Or 2007 that was. Jeff Hetzler was the last one of this event in 2007. He's up there in the front row on the outside. Brett Hearn has had 15 modified championships, 175 modified wins here at the Orange County Speedway, and 12 times the winner of the Eastern States 200. Caution lights have now been turned out. That's the signal for the pace truck to pull in next time around. Hearn and Hetzler up there on road number 1. Timmy Fuller, Ryan go down road number 2. Billy Decker, Peter Britton, road number 3. Tremont and Johnson in 4. Phelps and Ronnie Johnson in row 5. Gianiak and Anthony Borrego, row 6. Mitchell and Shepard 7. McLaughlin and Williamson is 8. Laubach and Pouch in row number 9. And Stuart Friesen and Andy McKinney back there in row number 10. The caution lights have been turned out. The pace truck is swinging to the inside. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest sights in big block modified stock car racing will now happen as they roll on a turn number 4 as the 2018 Eastern States 200 is now underway. Hauling it off to turn number 2 already. Early race leader, Brett Hearn. He'll pace it nice and simple down the back straightaway. Hetzler drops in line for spot 2. The ring goes rocket. Ryan Godown will instantly capture spot number 3. Down the back straightaway through turns number 3 and 4. They'll work on a turn 4 this time to put lap number 1 up on the light board. Lap number 1 is now a part of history in the books for the 2018 running of the Halmar International Arcal Motors WLR Construction 200. Godown's in 3rd. 4th place is Timmy Fuller. 5th place is Danny Johnson. Johnson down the back straightaway right now as they travel in for turn number 3 and 4. Tremont right back there in spot number 6. Field on turn number 4 this time. Keep in mind there are almost 2 identical 21 cars. The 21J is Danny Johnson. The 21A is Peter Britton. So Britton is up on the top side right now, back there in the number 5 spot. Don't mistake those 2 cars. They are separated by Billy Decker. Decker's back there in spot 6. Then in 7th is the Dr. Danny Johnson. He's got the 21J car. He's got the Shackleton number sponsorship on the quarter panels, whereas Peter Britton has the Troyer race car symbol inside of his quarter panel. Will Kegel back there in the backup 10C car from Richie Urich. Champion at the Speedway many times. Winner of this event. Long time ago when Kegel last picked up a win here at the Orange County Fair Speedway, this Eastern States event. One of the honorary starters, provisionals for this event. He had 5 modified championships at 4 times. He won the Eastern States 200 and 47 other wins to his credit here at the legendary House of Power. Field assembles down the back straightaway. It is still Hearn on the top side. Hetzler is 2nd. Ryan Godown is 3rd. Then in 4th spot, Jimmy Fuller back there in the St. Lawrence Radiology number 19 car. Peter Britton, the Batman from Brisbane, Australia, rambles back there in spot number 5. 6th place is Billy Decker. 7th is the 21 car of Danny Johnson. Tremont is 8th. Phelps is 9th. And Kid Gideon, Anthony Borrego rides back there in spot number 10. Ronnie Johnson rides at 11th. Matt Shepard is 12th. Matt Williamson is then 3rd. Matt Gianiak, boy, 3 Matts in a row. Gianiak is back there in 14th. And then Craig Mitchell on a Wappinger Falls, New York, back there in spot number 15. Hearn already on his patented drive style at the Orange County Speedway. This is his way of conserving tires. And what I'm talking about is watch when Brett Hearn is under full speed like now. When he comes down the straightaway and heads for turn number 1, he comes on the inside like that. Now he'll shoot right up to the outside of the apex. He'll V that car off in a diamond shape and fall right back down to the inside of 2. That is the Hearn patented groove here at the Orange County Speedway. It's what saves him tires and brings him to victory lane for over 12 times in this event. Hearn right there, the leader coming up on lap car. Butch Tittle is slowing on the outside. Tittle in the Smith Excavating car is the last car in line right now, and already Brett Hearn, after 8 laps of competition, can see the back markers. We've had nobody leave the speedway right now except Will Kegel, who was a provisional honorary starter in the Rich Urich backup car. Urich, by the way, is still out there as a provisional this afternoon. The Van Graal Heating and Air Conditioning number 10 car. So Urich and Smith, Urich and Tittle, last 2 cars in the line right now. Hearn watches them on a turn number 2. Hearn pedals down the back straightaway right now. The ring goes rocket. Ryan Godown. Godown is up there in the number 2 spot. Then the Jeff Hetzler 3. Timmy Fuller is still 4th, and Peter Britton back in spot 5. Billy Decker is 6th. Danny Johnson is 7th. Now lap traffic early on before the 10 laps already. We're in lap traffic, and this could shake things up a bit, especially in the top 10 running order. Hearn's got to take the high road down the back straightaway. This could use up some tires that he hadn't planned on using up this quick in the 200 here this afternoon, because already he's fighting with back markers in the picture. Hearn's up there in the number 1 spot, now putting lap cars in their respective order. Tittle goes a lap down to the lineup. Meanwhile, Godown put a nose down to the inside that time. The ring goes rocket. Ryan Godown, the Dieter Schmidt-owned Lincoln Auto Body Escape RV number 5 car, works in spot number 2. Hetzler is 3rd. Go down early on, maybe making that surge, not keeping it to the end like most drivers do. He might get his homework done early out here in the 200. Now Hearn is caught to the inside of Tommy Heinle, another lap car to the lineup. Meanwhile, Go Down is marking back there in spot number 2. He's got Heinle between him as a lap traffic car. 2 more lap cars now between second and third as Hensler goes to the outside of Butch Tittle. Tittle's on the high side down there in 3 and 4, going past the lap car of Butch Tittle. That's Hensler on the outside of Tittle right now, going through the lap traffic. Hearn's caught behind Corey Lowett. Hearn tucks it in behind Corey Lowett right now in the 716 car. Lowett about to go a lap down. One car slowing on the outside down the back straightaway. Tyler Jazabowski slowing, coming down to the inside of turn number 3. He almost had the front side crossed up that time as Jazabowski tried to get out of harm's way. Leader Brett Hearn is in turn number 1. Lowett's in trouble on the outside. We have got caution on the speedway on lap number 14 here this afternoon. Yellow lights on the speedway, trying to determine from our vantage point exactly what has caused this yellow. Well, we may have had something fall off at Tyler Jazabowski's car. He had dropped it back in line and almost was crossed over in front of traffic down the back straightaway. And Jazabowski has now taken the Johnny service station car onto pit road. We see the crew going to work on the 88T car down there. His pit stall is just outside of turn number 4. Remember, caution laps will count up until lap number 180. The last 20 laps here this afternoon for the 2018 running of the Eastern States 200 will be run under the powers of the green flag. Again, 1 mandatory pit stop after lap number 30. 1 mandatory pit stop. Does not matter what they choose to do, tires or fuel, that's up to them, but they must at least make 1 pit stop after lap number 30 here this afternoon's feature event. Down the straightaway last time, we saw Corey Lowett slow up, and he's on the outside lane again, going at a snail's pace down the straightaway. The United Pump and Tank 716 car. We'll see if he may be experiencing problems or not, if he's just going to drop to the tail side. Jazabowski's car is still on pit road down there in the turn 4 area. Well, by the way, none of the 50-50 numbers had been claimed yet. Pink ticket 983419. That was the number for the gift certificate, 092705, and the number for the money was 920375. Gonna go downstairs to Mandy Pouch on pit road. Mandy?
So all of these drivers have to make 1 mandatory pit stop after lap 30. With that being said, the first caution after lap 30 will be very crucial, as you'll see a lot of drivers coming in to make that 1 pit stop for tires and fuel to try and make it the entire 200 laps. Back to you, Tim.
All right, thank you very much. Mandy Pouch, of course, standing with us down there on the short shoot area of pit lane here this weekend for the 200. Mandy Pouch, of course, doing a great job. Follow her blog on the internet, and also, of course, a very well-versed personality in the world of stock car racing. Her brother is out here in this event right now, Billy Pouch Jr. in the Pasquale entry number 3 car. Her father is the legendary Billy Pouch Sr., the kid that has raced here numerous times and has had hundreds of wins in his career across the northeastern part of the United States. So we welcome Mandy Pouch as part of our broadcast team here this afternoon at the Orange County Fair Speedway. This is the 2018 running of the Halmar International Arkel Motors WLR Eastern States 200. We got a Dodge Journey New York plate, HNT 9811, must be moved immediately. Tow truck has been called. A Dodge Journey New York plate, HNT 9811. You can move it, or the tow truck that has been called can do it for you. Thank you. Back to green flag racing action. 18 laps have been scored in this afternoon's 200. Here we come out of turn number 4. Hearn once again takes off quickly down the home straightaway. Hearn back into the number 1 spot. The ring goes rocket. Ryan Go Down. The battle is on for spot number 3 as Go Down takes over spot 2. Edwards is Timmy Fuller is hung up to the outside, lost 2 spots as he motored down the back straightaway that time. Fuller into the number 5 spot. He lost out to Jeff Hetzler, and 4th place running car right now, which is Peter Britton, the Batman himself, Peter Britton. Field down the back straightaway, top 3 cars, a little bit of elbow space between them. Peter Britton rides there in spot number 4. Edwards back to Fuller back to spot number 5. Timmy Fuller now running back into number 5 spot aboard the St. Lawrence Radiology number 19 car. Field down the home straightaway. Action continues here this afternoon at the Orange County Fair Speedway, the continuation of the 200 lap. Granddaddy of them all, the Eastern States race, 57 years old, and yellow lights fly once again. Caution to the Speedway, trouble on turn number 4. It is Daniel Creedon, Danny Creedon, the West Arm Mechanical car sideways, and obviously contact was made with that car as Danny Creedon's car sitting without power out of turn number 4 sideways in the field. 21 laps old, the caution lights come on this afternoon for the Eastern States 200. Yeah, we're going to give Gary Ballou a chance to catch his breath up here because, boy, he just made some fast tracks around the back of the pit area right here in the back of the grandstand area. He put the Batmobile away after pacing the field out here, and he will be helping us with color commentary throughout the balance of this afternoon's event. Gary Ballou, of course, famed driver here at the Orange County Fair Speedway, won this event back in 1977. Has had 29 big block modified wins here at the legendary House of Power. So we'll let him catch his breath and gain his composure, and maybe give him a water or something too while he's up here, and we'll get him all ready for this afternoon's color commentary. Field remains under caution right now. Remember again, caution laps do count until lap number 180 up here this afternoon. This is the 2018 running of the Eastern States 200 here at the 99-year-old campus at the Orange County Fair Speedway. This is, of course, what was named the Victory Speedway back in the late 1900s. It began as the Harry Clay Oval, when horses and trotters were the main means of horsepower here at this legendary House of Power. Harry Clay was a very famous winning horse back around the early 1900s era. His headstone is still on the campus of the fairgrounds. Now, although we're before the lap 30 mark, we already see Matt Janiak taking the Halmar 17J car down there, and they're going to work on the right side of that car. Going to replace some right rear racing rubber in that mount. The Hoosier Tire standing by. Crew got that car up on all fours right now. They go to work on the right rear corner, putting a brand new right rear on the Halmar 17. That is Matt Janiak out of Warwick, New York. First driver to take a pit stop, Tyler Dipple's also down there, and he is changing a right rear tire as well. So Dipple takes the America First number 1 car back onto the short shoot area right now. He's on pit road taking a tire on the right rear corner. Remember, this pit stop will not count as their mandatory pit stop. They must make one more stop after lap number 30. So 30 up until 199 really would count for their one mandatory pit stop. Field rolls away right now down the back straightaway. We are continuing with this afternoon's 200 lap feature event, 24 laps old. We'll see 25 go up on the light board this time. Field still falling in line behind the Chevrolet Pace Truck, the Orange County Fair Speedway Pace Truck former driver from back in the 70s. Buck Morrow, still our Pace vehicle driver after so many years. Did a great job years ago in the old Morrow Motors Coupes here at the Speedway. Typically old race car drivers never die. They want to become Pace vehicle drivers or maybe color commentators up here in the booth. We welcome with us right now Gary Ballou. Gary, welcome up to the booth again for the second day in a row.
Thank you. I enjoy coming up, but it's a great deal for me. Just a lot of winter. The grandstands are a little steep for an old guy like this.
We added some steps.
Good, Tim, it's all good. I mean, you do such a good job up here that I'm just thankful to be here.
Well, we are thankful that you are here this afternoon. Hey, great job you did out there in the 112 car. We know I had a little bit of a hard time getting you off the track, right?
Yeah, I wanted to stay out. I didn't want to come in.
That car's got the capability of still turning some fast speeds here at the legendary House of Power. Green flag goes on. We are back to racing in this afternoon's Eastern States 200. Battle is already on at the drop of the green flag for spot number 4. Jimmy Fuller to the inside of the speedway. Outside lane is open, and that's where Billy Decker rides right now. Here comes the Jeff Hensler down to the inside. Hensler making a move to the inside right now. He will lose out of that 4th place battle. Billy Decker, the thriller from Unadilla, New York, holds on to the number 5 spot right now in the speedway. So Decker is 5th, Hensler 6th. Danny Johnson now 7th. Kenny Tremont is 8th in the lineup. Anthony Perego is 9th. Ronnie Johnson is 10th in a side-by-side battle for spot number 11. Billy Pouch Jr. to the outside, but taking over spot number 11 will be the number 93 car of Hollywood Craig Mitchell. Field hauls it off to turn number 3 and 4. Here they come. A little bit of elbow space now between the top 4 campaigners as we drive down the back straightaway. Now more space between the top 6 campaigners. But here comes Danny Johnson. Johnson's back there in spot number 7. The Shackleton Napa 21J car, and he is trying to reel in 6th place running Jeff Hensler aboard the number J17 mount. Hensler's back there in slot 6. Johnson 7th. Tremont 8th. Perego is 9th. Ronnie Johnson 10th. Jimmy Phelps is then spot number 11. Matt Shepard is 12th. Stuart Friesen 13th. Billy Pouch Jr. is 14th. Matt Williamson 15th. Then 16th is the wild child, Andy McKetty, and McKetty's on the inside. Trouble out of turn number 2 this time. Brian Crummell, the Zubies Racing 17 car, dropped the power out of turn number 2, and that caused cars to bunch up behind him. Bobby Varon and Jerry Higbee spun to avoid contact that came into contact with each other. So early race caution again. It looks like both Farron and Higbee will be able to drive away. And Gary Blue, I'll tell you what is more frustrating that at the beginning of the race already have to come into contact like that and have a little bit of a fender bender, as we'll call it down there, not quite knowing, is the car okay for the rest of the distance? Should I go to the pit area? Should I try it out a lap or 2, or what happens?
Well, it kind of all depends on, like they're both rolling there. They both started, and I don't know what kind of damage they got as far as knocking a toe in out or something like that. But they'll shake the wheel around there a little bit, and if it drives straight and the steering wheel's in the same spot, they'll go on, as long as they don't go down a lap. But it's, the 200 lap race, you got plenty of time to make it up and come back. So the best thing to do is just get your composure back, and get steady, and just come back to the front, and pick your way back to there nice and easy, and save the tires. And now you got to race to finish.
And as long as the can of Pepsi didn't fall off the cup holder, you're good to go, right?
That's it.
All right.
Or the water spout, or the water hose that blow out of your mouth. Good to go.
Color commentary offered to us again by this afternoon, Gary Ballou, famous driver, the number 112 Batmobile, 29-time winner here at the Orange County Speedway, and of course, has had literally hundreds of wins. Gary, how many total wins through your career, late model and modified? You've raced everything but shopping carts. Do you ever keep track of the total number of wins you have?
That's funny you say shopping carts. I can remember when we were kids.
You raced them
we
too.
We got a shopping cart. They were digging in a rock pit. We got a shopping cart, and we got some rope and tied ourselves in it. We'd push it off the side of the hill with the shopping cart to see if we could turn over into the lake. Now that's pretty bizarre, isn't it? That's crazy.
Was that the early?
That was a shopping cart racing. Yeah, that was nuts.
That's what began your racing career, in a shopping cart. All right. What?
I think that was a daredevil part of it. But I think we've won someplace between 1,000 and 1,200 races. So. We stopped counting after 1,000, so we're there someplace between.
Already. Looking down there, we see Brett Hearn making a pit stop. It is lap 32. It's in the window. This could be some strategy for Brett Hearn.
You've never seen that before, have you?
Well,
That's
an
early deal for Brett. Brett comes, gets his tires, gets his fuel, and then he gets in the back, and he kind of rides and lets everybody else race their cards out, and then they have to come to the pits, and guess what? He'll be leading again. He's got tires. He's not tore them up, but there's quite a few companies on the same strategy.
Yes, look at that, look at that.
Well, they've seen this movie before, so everybody's going to get in that frame there, that strategy, including Stuart Friesen.
Yeah, a bevy of cars occupy pit road right now. They looked up on the scoreboard. They saw their past lap number 30. Obviously they've watched Brett Hearn do this so many times. They knew if you use your head, conserve your fuel, conserve your tires, you virtually can go the 170 lap distance from here to the checkered flag. It'll be interesting to see if Hearn follows through on that strategy, as he's done so many times, to carry him to 12 feature event victories here in the Eastern States 200. Hearn was the first car in pit road. Many cars followed him. All your top runners filing back out of the speedway. It shuffles up the top 5 a little bit. That lets Ryan Godown out there, the Escape RV number 5 car, the Dieter Schmidt-owned car, very popular big block modified entry. The Ringo's Rocket, we call him, out of Ringo's, New Jersey, has driven a lot of different race cars here in the Northeast. Very popular, both short track and super track driver like he is right here this afternoon. Puts him up there in the #1 spot. Second is now Ronnie Johnson. Third is then Matt Shepard. Fourth is Billy Pouch Jr. Andy McKinney is riding back there in 6th. 7th is Mark Johnson. 8th is going to be Bob McGann. And 9th is then going to be Rick Laubach. And 10th will be the 17 of Jeff Hetzler. 11th is going to be Timmy Fuller. And 12th is going to be Jessica Zemkin-Friesen. Top 12 after the top runners, almost every one of them made their pit stops with the exception of second place driver Ryan Godown. So, we had to tease Ryan Godown the other day at the Orange County Speedway when he first pulled into the pit area. Boy, he's a guy that takes teasing well. Gary, these guys get all kind of nicknames out there, usually because of their driving style. And more than once he said, yeah, they call me Modown. He goes, so much that on my last track T-shirt, I put a picture of a lawnmower on it. He goes, wait till I put the 2019 T-shirt out with a picture of a snowplow on it. I said, it's already Myers yellow, snowplow yellow, so why not put a picture of a snowplow on it? But Godown takes ribbing well. Have you ever had any good nicknames in your racing career?
Well, they've called me a lot of different names. As far as nicknames, yeah, the shoe kind of stuck to the hot shoe and the shoe and Rebellious Rebel and stuff like that. I mean, there's other names that I'm not allowed
we can't talk about.
My boss told me watch my mouth before I come up here. So.
No 4-letter or 6-letter words here this afternoon on a Gary Ballou, but he'll stick by that religiously on a Sunday, as he would do. 29-time modified winner, last won this event back in 1977. Has had hundreds of wins, not only on dirt, but on asphalt. Not only in a modified, but in late models as well, where he began his career in racing. And boy, one of the most illustrious drivers ever in the world of dirt motorsports, turned the world on its heels when Kenny Well brought that Batmobile to Syracuse back in 1981, I do believe it was. 1980. And boy, almost 40 years later, it has still changed the way we build a race car out here. Back then, of course, the name of the game was to keep them nice, tight, little, and low and narrow. You came there with that big, wide school bus, and everybody was scratching their heads and other body parts and thought, this thing ain't going to go. You turned them on the heels and lapped the field almost twice out there in that 200. And went back to work, and everybody changed.
That's way ahead of its time, with the pods on the side and aero package. And had a really good motor, Hunter motor. There's a lot to it, the air induction and carburetor and so forth. So. Yeah, we're a little bit ahead of our time with it, and it did change racing quite a bit. And I wish Kenny was here today to see the thing go around the racetrack again.
Well, no doubt, though, that the way that car was built with Syracuse in mind, where aerodynamics are 99% of the trick up there. I'll tell you what, if we've seen cars, bodies just literally fly apart and fly off of cars. If they're not built just right, you get a little bit of wind under the wrong body panel, those things go flying through the air. Boy, that Batmobile was anything but out of aerodynamics. That wrote the Bible on aerodynamics for modified stock car racing. We are set to go back to green flag racing here this afternoon at the Orange County Fair Speedway on lap number 38. Here they come, 37 laps have been scored. Caution laps count to 180. We are back to racing this afternoon. The Halmar International, Arkel Motors, WLR Construction 200 here at the historic Orange County Fair Speedway in Middletown, New York. Drop the green flag, struggle for spot number 3. Billy Pouch Jr. takes the Bill Pasquale owned number 3 car up into its namesake spot number 3. They work down there in turn 3 and 4 right now. It's going to be Super Matt Shepard out of Waterloo, New York. The Dentist Properties number 9 car, one of the most winningest drivers right now in the world of dirt track modified stock car racing. Dropping in line for spot number 4. Mark Johnson hangs to the outside right now. That might not be the place he wants to stay, as the wild child Andrew McKinney. Andy McKinney down to the inside, picks up the number 4 spot down the back straightaway. Guy making tracks up down the inside. It's got to be that car farther back in the lineup, the 17 of Tommy Hindley. Hindley makes a move to the inside. Field rambles down the home straightaway. Ryan Godown out of Ringo's, New Jersey is our current race leader out here this Sunday afternoon in Middletown, New York, as he takes the Dieter Schmidt-owned number 5 car down the backstretch right now. Escape RV, the Barbara Gala family, sponsoring that car. To J17, and Hearn is in trouble. I am talking TRUBBLE. Oh, the humanity. Something has broke on Hearn, and Hensler's car is in trouble, and so is Jimmy Horton's car. Horton fires back up. Field under yellow right now. Hensler was smoking. In the midst of that smoke, Brett Hearn's car shut off. Well, there goes the $10,000 bonus for the 3rd year in a row. Big motor smoke coming out of the J17 of Hetzler, and we think there may be a tire going down in the Hearn car. Gary, did you spot that?
Looked like the right rear tire was flat out when it come by here.
Let's take a look at that again, but something caused Hearn to slow tremendously on a turn number 2. We are back under yellow flag conditions here this afternoon at the Orange County Fair Speedway for the Eastern States 200. And one of the biggest disappointments in modified stock car racing can be when a guy like Brett Hearn, who has dominated this track, most winningest driver ever with 175 big block wins, 15 modified championships, and 12 times an Eastern States winner, leading this event as fast timer on Friday, had a strategy in mind, and all of a sudden, the car slowed on a turn number 2. Let's get a good look at that down on on the pit road this time. And yes, there is a flat right rear tire on the Metal Plus number 20 car of Brett Hearn. The field will walk by out of turn number 4. Quickly, the crew goes to work on the right rear quarter of the corporate jet down there, the number 20 car of Brett Hearn. So early race disappointment. Another tire went down on the 21A car of Peter Britton, and you see some damage done to that quarter panel. So these guys may have got into each other a little bit when the tire went down on one of those 2 cars, and that may be the reason right now for this series of pit stops. And of course, the caution lights are on. So reason for the caution flag: 2 flat tires, one on Peter Britton's car, one on Brett Hearn's car. This could change the outcome of this afternoon's finish. Crew still working on Peter Britton's car, a young driver out of Brisbane, Australia, in the Troyer race car number 21A down there. A flat right rear tire and a tore up right rear quarter panel. Britton had been a popular campaigner in dirt track stock car racing, that 21 car. 31-year-old driver from Brisbane, Australia, boy, in that Troyer race car. He certainly gets the award for the most traveled distance to be here this afternoon, but he spends the entire racing season with us. Britton's car is down back on all 4s, back out he drives. Gary, how frustrating is it when you have a plan in mind and then so early in the event like this, we're only 43 laps, not quite 25% of the way home, something like that goes wrong, and does that kind of mess you up mentally a little bit in your game plan for the rest of the race?
Well, that changes everything. You know, Brett's thought was to come early and beat everybody out, and he was ahead of the fast cars, and the rest of them guys have to come, which would have put him right back in the lead. Of course, now something happened. He shut off back there, and someone run over the right rear and got it flat. But the big deal is what caused all that. Why did it shut off? Did somebody shut off in front of him? It looked to me like his car shut off. So you got that in your mind also. It's just they couldn't have shut off again. But you know what? He's a racer. He'll come back. It won't rattle him. I mean, it's changed the game plan. Now he's going to have to just race harder, and they may come for tires one more time. I think it might be a 2-tire stop race.
All right, let's go downstairs on pit road to Mandy Pouch. Mandy?
So after last night's 100 lap small block race, a lot of drivers said the tire wear was mint. No problems. So the drivers that did already do their mandatory pit stop may have only got a splash of fuel. They may not even change their right rear tire and try and go the whole 200 on one right rear. Back to you, Tim.
All right, thank you very much, Mandy Pouch, standing by on pit road down here this afternoon at the Orange County Fair Speedway. Jimmy Horton back into the short chute area right now on pit lane here this afternoon. Drives down through, back out onto the racetrack. The Halmar 43 car, 2017 track champion here at the Orange County Fair Speedway. The sensational one out of Neshannock Station, New Jersey. Longtime campaigner. This guy went all the way up the field into ARCA racing at one point and did quite well in that. Jimmy Horton has won a feature in just about every year he has raced a stock car anywhere here in the Northeast, and he's had 3-time track champions here at the Orange County Fair Speedway, 2-time winner of this event, 16-time modified winner in Victory Lane. So 2-time Eastern States winner, 2 modified champs. Modified, he also had a small block modified champ as well, and 16 modified wins. That's Jimmy Horton out of the Neshannock Station, New Jersey, driving for Team Halmar again in 2018. Caution lights have been turned out. Field set to go back to business on the speedway. Here we come out of turn number 4 for the continuation of this afternoon's Eastern States 200. On the outside, Ronnie Johnson goes racing strong down the home straightaway, and he will attempt to wrestle away spot number 1 from the ring. Goes Rocket Ran Go Down. Go Down says, whoa, no you don't. Out of turn number 2 down to the inside, and Go Down is back to the lead step. Ryan Godown takes the Escape RV number 5 car back up to the elite position right now, and he will show the way out of turn number 4. Ronnie Johnson drops in the line for spot number 2. The kid's kid, Billy Pouch Jr. out of Frenchtown, New Jersey, rides back there in spot 3. Then a second number 3 car, no relation. That is Mark Johnson out of Johnstown, New York, in the Johnson's Racing number 3 machine. He is 4th. Super Matt Shepard 5th. Andy McKinney is back, spots number 6. 7th right now is the Bob McGinnon race rod, and 8th is Timmy Fuller. 9th is Gary Edwards Jr. 10th spot right now, coming out of turn number 4, is the legendary Chuck McKee of the M&H Tractor Company 19K car. That is one of the very few coil-over cars that we have out here in this afternoon's lineup. Field down through turns number 3 and 4 right now. Action continues this afternoon. We are 25% the way home to a $173,000 payout for this afternoon's historic Eastern States 200. Ryan Godown puts him on a 5-car length gap between himself and second place man Ronnie Johnson. Johnson back there in Waynesburg, New York. That's Jumpin' Jack's boy, carrying on family tradition here this afternoon in long distance racing. He's an outside invader, but boy, he adapts to a new racetrack very, very well and carries on the legacy of his great father, Jumpin' Jack Johnson. As this is Jack's boy in spot number 2, then still Billy Pouch Jr., another second generation talent back there in spot number 3. Mark Johnson 4th, Matt Shepard 5th, Andy McKinney is 6th. Then 7th place is the 21 car. Yellow lights are on the speedway. Caution on the speedway. Field under caution once again here this afternoon. This race is 52 laps old, 2 laps past the 25% mark. One car slowing off at turn number 4, probably blocked behind our vantage point down there behind those trailers, so caution lights are on again. Pit road will become alive again with a buzz of activity. Let's see who makes a pit stop this time. Remember, the majority of your top 10 have not yet pitted. So the pit stalls are open, and we are set, of course, to see a bevy of pit stops. And Gary, you guys are used to a lot of short distance racing, 20, 25, 30 laps, maybe 50 laps at the distance. Pit stops are never a concern. You get into an extra distance race like this, or up at Syracuse years ago, 200 laps, pit stops not only are mandatory, but they're necessary. Does that kind of throw you off as a driver? Because now you not only got to worry about being out there and racing hard, racing fast, getting up to spot number 1, but you also got to consider all of a sudden your momentum is knocked off a kilter to make a pit stop.
I don't know if it changes your momentum, but if you're not used to doing pit stops, and you don't have a crew that's used to doing pit stops, you can lose everything right there. So, I mean, that's the difference in like we do with the asphalt cars. We run 200 lappers, 400 lappers, 300 lappers. We stop 2 or 3 times, and you have crew and they have the right setup to do that. To where with these cars, we don't do this over here. So, yeah, there's a whole bunch more to it. You've got to have a good stop, and that's just a big part of it. Big part of this deal today.
And probably more than once in your illustrious career, you've had your crew members practice pit stops at home in the shop, correct?
We last year we won a national championship. We would struggle a little bit. I come in, lead the race, go back out 6th, 7th, and I said, we got to fix this. So we went to work and hired some really good people. I hired Banjo Grimmett was with Mark Martin for years and years and years, and he hired the right people with him. We wanted for the right front, right rear, jack man. We practiced and we practiced. I could come in 15th and come back out and lead after that. I mean, so we worked real hard on making that part of our program better. Where these guys don't have that opportunity because they only do it once a year. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to work through it. But plus we had the right jacks and the right wrenches and the right setup to do it.
Well, making a pit stop right now down on pit road is the 17 of Matt Janig. You see that right side of the car almost covered with mud. He was in a very touchy situation a couple of laps back. He got pushed down to the inside of the back straightaway, and that car almost covered in mud. Twice he's made a pit stop ever since. Anthony Borrego, track champion, is also down there changing right rear tires. Here back on all fours is the 7 of Rick Laubach out of Hellertown, Pennsylvania. Gary, once you get to be as popular and successful as you were in your career, is it not almost an option for you to kind of pick and choose your crew members? You go out there and try and start headhunting crew members to put together the best team possible?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you got to have the best crew chief, you got to have the best tire changers, you got to have the best motor builder. That's what I say, in my book I talk about that. Because I've been blessed to be able to surround myself with some of the best people in racing. And it takes all that. Nobody's winning this thing by themselves. It takes a total effort from the car owner to the crew crew, to the gas man, to the truck driver. It takes everybody. It's a team sport.
Did you have people that come with you both in asphalt and dirt track racing? Did you use some of the same people for your pit members?
Oh yeah, I mean, when we won Syracuse in 1980, I had all my asphalt crew, which is a national, we won a national championship with that team. So we were prepared to change tires, and you know, we had knockoff in the front end, and we had air jacks, and we could have changed tires. We chose just to put the hardest rubber we could put on it because the rubber was so good. But yeah, you bring your people with you that you selected that work well together.
So, of course, not only in big-time NASCAR racing do they kind of headhunt crew members, but they do it in Saturday night racing as well. And, of course, in a big-distance race like this afternoon, it certainly comes to play, and it could be the difference between a trip to victory lane or an early trip to the trailer. So,
Yep, well, that could be the whole deal.
Gary Ballou standing by with us, providing us with color commentary this Eastern States Racing weekend. One of the most notorious short track modified drivers in the history of dirt motorsports here in the northeastern part of the United States. As we said earlier, 29 times he found victory lane here at the legendary House of Power alone. Won this event back in 1977 and was most notorious for the big win at Syracuse in 1980 with that restored Batmobile. It changed the complexion of stock car racing up to this very day, some 4 decades later. Back down on all fours again is the Quaker Shaker. They also call him the Showstopper. Ask him why, as he takes the number 7 car, the Blindeman recycling car, back out of the all fours. So action continues out here this afternoon at the Orange County Fair Speedway. Those drivers have made their pit stops, and boy, I'll tell you what, for the great fans here in the grandstands of the Orange County Speedway, you got that up close and personal look at pit road. It's right here along the grandstand straightaway. And also for the thousands of viewers bringing us into their home via live internet streaming, and on Speed 51, you get to really see some up-close personal action here at the Orange County Speedway. And we can't thank everyone enough. From the bottom of our hearts, Orange Motorsports and Entertainment, Halmore International, going through a lot of effort to make this 99th year possible here at the Orange County Speedway, but it all comes down to you, our racing family, everybody out here on the campus of the Orange County Fairgrounds again. From Chris Larson and Mike Gerda, the entire Orange Motorsports and Entertainment crew, thank you so much for being our family here this afternoon. Welcome to our house, the legendary House of Power. Hey, don't forget, we'd love to see you here every Saturday night. Here we come on a turn number 4 this time. We are about to go back to racing speeds on lap number 59. This afternoon's running the Eastern States 200. Here's Ryan Godown to bring him down the home straightaway. Well, go down into the number 1 spot. They almost tussled for spot number 2 that time. Ronnie Johnson wanted to go down to spot number 2 on the inside. A pair of 3s race for spot number 4 right now. Billy Pouch Jr. takes over 4th spot, while Super Matt Shepard down to the inside of the speedway in the backstretch. He grabs spot number 4 away. Not for long. Here comes Mark Johnson. Johnson rim rides down on turn number 4 this time. Up to the high side he travels with the Johnson Racing number 3 car. And Mark Johnson has been one of the few drivers that has really been occupying the outside lane almost the entire distance. Is it this fast way to go? We're not quite sure, because now Super Matt grabbed back the number 4 spot from Johnson, putting Mark Johnson back in spot number 5. Meanwhile, just behind him is the 21 car, the Schultz Ford McGannon excavating car. That's big brother Bobby McGannon. McGannon rides back there in spot number 6. 7th place on the lineup is the 4 car, Andy McKinney. 8th is Kyle Armstrong. Gary Rich is 9th. Tommy Hindley is 10th. Mike Mahaney is 11th. 12th is the number 19 car of Chuck McKee. 13th is Stuart Friesen. 14th is the number 19 of Timmy Fuller. 20th is the number 21 car of Danny Johnson. Well, a little bit of elbow space now between the top 7 or 8 cars down the back straight as they navigate through turn number 4. Ryan Godown not letting any grass grow beneath those Hoosier Racing tires on the Dieter Schmidt number 5 car, and yellow lights are on the speedway. Yellow, yellow, yellow. On lap number 63 here this afternoon, we'll find out why in a split second. Again, nothing from our vantage point here along the straightaway. Car on the outside, Tyler Jazembowski, the Johnny Service Station number 88T car. The reason for the caution, that car is shut off outside of turn number 2, could not get down out of harm's way. He brings out the caution again on lap number 63. This is young driver Tyler Jazembowski, 18-year-old pilot from right here in Middletown, New York, in the Johnny Service Station number 88 car. Longtime familiar name in stock car racing here at the Orange County Speedway is the Jazembowski name. Of course, Bobby Jazembowski, Tyler Jazembowski, Frank Jazembowski, they've all turned Some great career moves here at the Orange County Speedway and fast laps in a modified. Field under yellow once again for this 2018 running of the Halmar International WLR Construction RKL Motors 200. Now, very important to point out again the importance of track sponsorship here at the Orange County Speedway. RKL Motors out of New Windsor, New York, up on Route 94. They have been a long-time sponsor of this history-making event here at the Orange County Speedway. If you're a big rig driver, international truck lover, international trucks are sold at RKL Motors in Route 94, New Windsor, New York. If you can't afford a brand new one or a used one, they have a lease program, a great lease program in effect. They also have rental programs, service, parts, over 1 million parts in stock up there at RKL Motors, Route 94, New Windsor, New York. A big thank you to the Van Leeuwen family, and also thanking them for their ongoing support of St. Jude Children's Hospital. Part of the proceeds go to St. Jude's of all the sales made. Standing by with Mandy Pouch on pit road. Mandy?
Good. So you have to remember and take in consideration these drivers have spotters in their ears helping them guide their cars around the track. Now under caution, you have to realize that they're probably thinking, they're talking track conditions, tire wear, what their next move is going to be. So under yellow, that's what's going on. So they may pit, they may not. They may wait a couple more laps, so you never know. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you very much, Mandy. And of course, there is a young gal that knows strategy behind the scenes because she is part of the family strategy to a lot of extra distance races. And by the way, right now we see the race leader, Ryan Godown, coming down to make his first pit stop here this afternoon as the Dieter Schmidt pit crew goes to work on the tail side of the Escape RV, taking on right rear tires, a little bit of splash of fuel as well. So the VP Racing fuel goes into the tank of the Dieter Schmidt number 5 car. And like Mandy said, there's a strategy to pit stops, and Gary confirmed that pit stops will win or lose a race for you as a team. And no doubt Mandy's had some first-hand experience at seeing how their family has put together planned pit stops here at the track. Spotters are able to be used for an extra distance race like this. There are spotters all over the racetrack for each and every one of these cars. Retiring back now behind pit wall is the Troyer race car, 21A car of the Batman Peter Britton. Britton is in trouble, and obviously he is pulling the plug on the rest of his afternoon's feature event. Tough break for the Brisbane, Australia hot shoe, Peter Britton. He takes the Troyer race car number 21 car down behind pit wall. Action continues here this afternoon at the Orange County Fair Speedway. 66 laps old is this 200-lap classic, brought to us in part by Halmar International. Of course, Halmar has been the sponsor of many of popular race teams here at the Orange County Speedway, and also they sponsor Stuart Friesen's NASCAR Camping World Truck team as well. And Stuart has done just a phenomenal job here this year in NASCAR Camping World Truck Racing. And Gary, I know you've been standing by with Stuart Friesen on a lot of those tours for the NASCAR Camping World Truck stop as well. Does it impress you that a dirt track stock car boy can hop into a race truck, not a race car, but a race truck, and do so well on the asphalt tracks in the Camping World Truck Series?
Well, the thing with Stuart, I mean, I knew that Stuart was a natural, and it was no surprise to me that Stuart went as fast as he did, as soon as he did. You know, we put him in a truck, went to Mile High, we tested it, and within 30 laps, he was dead on. So, I mean, he's just, he's a natural talent, and so it was no surprise to me. And I'm honored to have the privilege to work with Stu and see him do so well. I mean, there's no telling how far he'll go. I keep saying he's going to be in a cup car, and I don't think that's going to be too far off.
And with your vast amount of knowledge in stock car racing, you have been hired as the speed consultant for Halmar International race teams, and you not only divide your time with Stuart Friesen's team, but also, of course, the Ricky Racing team, Tyler Boniface's 69 car, Matt Janiak's 17. Everybody who has Halmar on the side of their car, including Jimmy Horton, of course, who you raced against many times. You offer them insight, you offer them consultation, and best off, you're able to keep these guys calm, cool, and collected as they race out there, no matter whether it's on a big track, a short track, or on the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Gary Blue is with the Halmar team, and it all comes to possibility through Halmar International, which has certainly helped us out so tremendously much here at the Orange County Speedway. This is part of the Halmar International 200 here this Sunday afternoon. Going back to green flag racing action right now, as new race leader is Ronnie Johnson. Jumpin' Jack's boy from Waynesburg, New York, takes the Bickles Automotive number 2A car down the back straightaway. By virtue of pit stops, Ronnie Johnson has now become the new race leader. Johnson on a turn number 4 this time, and Ronnie Johnson is a 44-year-old race driver who has certainly learned his steps well in stock car racing from Jumpin' Jack, his father. Meanwhile, Billy Pouch Jr., another second generation driver in the number 3 car. Pouch, of course, a 31-year-old financial consultant out of Frenchtown, New Jersey, running back there in the number 2 spot right now. The Pasquale number 3 car. 3rd spot is Super Matt Shepard. 4th is Mark Johnson. 5th place battle is on right now. Here's the wild child on the inside of Kyle Armstrong, and Armstrong's up cars up the banking down there in turn 1 and 2. He lost 2 spots to the mix, but now entering the top 5 is the number 4 car of Andy McKinney, and Jimmy Horton is dropping off the pace down the straightaway. Horton may be in trouble aboard the Halmar 43 car. Doesn't look like a flat tire. Something must have gone wrong in the power plant of the number 43 car. He knows he'll get down to harm's way. He'll let the cars go by. The last thing a guy like Jimmy Horton wants to do is bring out a caution. Field continues down the back straightaway right now. Ronnie Johnson continues as this afternoon's race leader in the Eastern States 200. 73 laps old as they walk by the start-finish line this time. Here's Ronnie Johnson, our race leader. 2nd spot, Billy Pouch Jr. 3rd is Matt Shepard. 4th, Ronnie Johnson. Andy McKinney is in spot number 5. Tommy Hindley 6th. Kyle Armstrong is 7th. 8th is then Gary Edwards. 9th is Stuart Friesen. 10th is Mike Mahaney. 11th is Danny Johnson. 12th is then Timmy Fuller. 13th is Matt Williamson. 14th on the outside down the back straightaway. The battle is on with Mike Maresca. Maresca losing out. Jimmy Phelps taking over 14th. Maresca now back to spot number 15 as they file out of turn number 4 this time. Top 15 unofficial rundown after 74 laps of competition. Whoa, Borrego stepped out of line that time. And Tommy Borrego's car went up to the outside of the marbles up there to lose stuff, and he put the brakes on quickly, but nobody was behind him. Luckily, nobody bunched up behind him, and then he drove away. We thought for a split second something was wrong with the Superior modeling car, but then he drove away from it. Field continues to be led right now by the 2 RJ car, Ronnie Johnson. Johnson about to put Tyler Jazabowski a lap down. Leader is Ronnie Johnson down there on the inside of turn number 2. Pouch Jr. is in spot number 2 as Johnson's car overtakes the lap car of Tyler Jazabowski. Jazabowski left to go by on the inside. Field on a 4 this time. Inside goes Billy Pouch Jr., the number 2 man to march by. Lap car, Tyler Jazabowski. Shepard still 3rd. Mark Johnson 4th. Andy McKinney is 5th. Tom Hindley is 6th. Kyle Armstrong 7th. Gary Edwards now running in spot number 8. Stuart Friesen 9th. And out of the top 10 is the number 88 car of Michael Mahaney, the Buzz Chu Chevrolet car. Now Jazabowski is still a slow car, a lap car, and he's still on the outside lane as all the traffic has to go by him on the inside. Sometimes it's a risky move for cars on the lead lap to try and move by a lap car by going to the inside lane. But when the lap car stays on the outside, they really don't have much of a choice. Back onto the speedway also is the West Star Mechanical 16 car of Danny Creedon. He had brought out the caution earlier. You see damage on the left side of that car, but he's trying to give her all he's got and stay out onto the speedway. 38 cars still are on the speedway right now, so 38 out of the 44 starters. After 78 laps of competition, we've only lost about 6 cars to attrition and to cautions on the speedway. Obviously, awesome track surface for these guys, even after 4 days. A lot of punishment put down on this hard clay racing surface. It's still 38 cars on the speedway. Tommy Meyer may be in trouble. The Schottmeyer brothers, 33 in the 3rd car, dropping off the pace, coming out of turn number 2. Tommy hugs the inside lane, going down the back straightaway, but can he make it behind pit wall under his own power? It's doubtful at the point. No, he cannot. Yellow lights come on the speedway at lap number 81. A slowing Tommy Meyer down the back straightaway. The reason for the caution on lap number 81, a tough break for Meyer. Of course, he now takes the Schottmeyer brothers, Piersco Properties, number 33 to 3rd car. Down behind pit wall, he was the 2015 winner of the Eastern States 200, 3-time modified track champ, 22 modified wins to his credit here at Middletown, New York. So yellow out on the speedway after 82 laps of competition. Rick had just told me that 37 cars are on the speedway yet. 37 cars of actually 45 top starters. Boy, that's a hats off to our track crew here at the Orange County Speedway, providing these guys with one awesome playground on a Sunday afternoon, a playground that has taken on so much punishment with thousands of laps of racing. She's holding up well out here and giving these guys just an awesome playing surface. A big thanks and a tap of the hat to our Orange County track prep crew. What a great job they did. Big thank you, of course, to Halmar International, who has brought on a brand new field and army of heavy equipment that we're using on a weekly basis to make this track as great as it is. And all these equipment provided us by Halmar International. Brand new graders, water trucks, and the heavy equipment we saw earlier. They came out here quickly to reconfigure that entrance down there going into turn number 1 with the short chute area, the pit stall area. So we've got the equipment on hand, and it is showing that it is being used well. Top 8 cars, Frank Canazone says. Top 8 cars, our handicapper Frank Canazone reminds us that the top 8 have not yet pitted. Stuart Friesen has, so Friesen might be the best position right now. If those top 8 cars start to make pit stalls, that might put Stuart Friesen right where he wants to be with a Halmar 44 car. Field remains under yellow out here this Sunday afternoon. 84 laps will be put onto the lap counter this time as they march by. Remember, caution laps will count up until lap number 180. Top 8 drivers have not made their mandatory pit stop as of yet. The first car to make its pit stop has been, the Stuart Friesen 44 car. Well, it's all about history here at the Orange County Fair Speedway, and of course we can't thank the folks that have stuck by us for decades as sponsors. Besides, of course, RKL Motors, the international truck dealership out of New Windsor, New York. The provider of the Pole Award again this year, we mentioned downstairs, has been our good friend Bill Rumsey, the WLR Construction Company. Great company you want to hire to do construction projects, both large and small, even around the house, home, garage, whatever. They will come and do whatever you may want them to do in the line of carpentry and construction. The WLR Construction Company has been a long-time supplier of our pole awards here at the Orange County Speedway. We personally thank Bill Rumsey for his ongoing support and helping keep the wheels go round here at the legendary House of Power. Big thanks also to the Pine Bush Equipment Company. They have provided ATVs for our 50-50 sellers to use out here this Eastern States weekend. We brought down some additional 50-50 sellers from the Albany, Saratoga, Lebanon Valley Speedway, and we spent a lot of time walking from the backstretch to the infield to the grandstand, so Pine Bush Equipment Company brought us some ATVs down to let the gals use to get around all the quicker. And well, that's probably why the 50-50 this afternoon for the second day in a row topped the $2,000 mark. $2,554 was the 50-50 giveaway today. We're not sure if it has been claimed or not. It was a light pink ticket. 920-375, so 920-375, a light pink ticket. If it has not been claimed, it's worth $2,554 in the 50-50. Big thank you to all the race fans sponsoring and, of course, supporting the 50-50. So that means the track points fund for these drivers just got $2,500 richer here this Sunday alone. Put almost $6,000 into the points fund thanks to the 50-50 here on Eastern States beginning on Thursday night. And, of course, Halmar again bringing $50,000 into the points fund. And boy, I'll tell you, even the 50-50 would have a hard time competing with that figure. But it has allowed us to give such great point rewards to all the divisions of stock car excitement here at the Orange County Speedway. The Big Block Modified Point Champ first place check has been a $10,000 paycheck. And boy, back years ago, we could never even think of giving that big of a paycheck for a points championship. And it's happened for 3 years now for a Big Block Modified division at the award ceremony this year at the car show to pick up a $10,000 paycheck. So, thanks to all of our sponsors. We could not do it without them. We would not be here today if it was not for the track sponsors to help make it all happen. Chevrolet vehicles, of course, pacing the field right now. The one on the inside is the safety truck. The one on the outside is the pace truck here at the Orange County Speedway. Pits will be closed up after 86 laps of competition. Gary Blue standing by with us up here, color commentary, of course. And Gary, you know the value of a race car sponsorship. What has been your most valuable sponsorship that you had in your career?
Probably the two most valuable I had was Goodyear and Chevrolet. You know, we got some maritime time with Chevrolet with late models, which was unheard of. And of course, when I first come to the Northeast here, they were on Race Masters, Hoosiers, and McCreary's, and this and that, and Firestones. And I did some tire testing for Goodyear and late model stuff. And they want a little piece of this world, so I got the opportunity to be a representative here in the Northeast for Goodyear's, and we brought Goodyear's to dirt racing here. And working with development was big for us because we got to try what we wanted to try. And there was sometimes that we missed it real bad. Racing for a living, that's not real good, but that was my two biggest deals, was Goodyear and Chevrolet.
So I'm sure you've represented them well. They were quite happy with your accomplishments in the world of stock car racing. We see the pit road open again. Billy Pouch Jr., Andy McKetty is down there. Also Mike Mahaney, Mike Maresca. I do believe Matt Hitchcock is also making his pit stop as well. And, you know, certainly got to hand it to a guy like Brent Hearn. Many years ago, he made many a heads turn with some of the sponsorships that he brought to the world of dirt track modified racing. And he rewarded them well with many wins, just like Gary Ballou has done in return. And, boy, he's brought some big names in stock car racing over the years. Years ago, Pepsi-Cola, of course, used to be on the side of Brent Hearn's cars. But it is so important to really bring your sponsors into the limelight. We know down there in Pennsylvania, there's a radio DJ in Allentown, Bobby Gunther Walsh, and he has been one of the best representatives of a field of sponsors ever. He might not be in the top 5, he might not be a winner down there in the short track Pennsylvania circuit, but boy, he's got about 35 sponsors, and he does everything he possibly can to please those sponsors in return. And even though he might not be the winningest driver, they still come back year after year to the sponsorship because they know that they will be well represented in return. So whether it be the side of a race car, the track sponsorship that we enjoy here at the Orange County Speedway, it is also very important. And in return, we ask you, the race fans, our Orange County family sitting out here on the campus of the Speedway today, those of you watching us at home, bringing us in on the live streaming, pay attention to the sponsor names that we mentioned. And please mention back in return, patronize these sponsors if you can. And please, please, please tell them that you heard all about them at the Orange County Fair Speedway on Eastern States Racing Weekend. Tell them that, yes, their sponsorship is recognized and recognized well. And thank them for helping make the wheels go round in the world of big block modified stock car excitement. This is the Orange County Fair Speedway for the 2018 running of the 57th annual Eastern States 200 for big block modifieds. Of the cars that have pitted, Rick Ryder tells me that Friesen and Hearn are now 1st and 10th. Friesen is the first car that has pitted. He's back there right around the number 7th spot. Hearn is farther back. Danny Johnson is the second car that has pitted. He is on the outside of Stuart Friesen. So going back 4 rows, the 4th row has made their pit stops.
If you watch Hearn, Hearn's coming down the outside also.
Back under green flag racing conditions, 9 laps shy, and we've got problems with Corey Lowen's car down there going into turn number 1. Boy, that's got a broken race car there. The United Pump and Tank 716 car in trouble down there in turn number 1 right now. Reason for the caution again, we see the left front pony tire bent way over. The left rear tire is damaged, so there was obviously contact made with Corey Lowen's car. Hey, y'all gonna want to hear this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know, all weekend long, we have been collecting money, contributions for injured driver Dan Doolin. He was not injured in a racing accident, but he was injured, and as I said before, injured is an understatement, in a work-related accident that has ended his racing career and has totally upset the entire family's living as we know it. Just being informed by Michael Gerda, our entire week-long 50-50 has totaled over $7,000. It will be donated to the Dan Doolin family on behalf of Orange Motorsports and Entertainment. They will make a $7,000+ donation to Dan Doolin and his family from the Orange County Fair Speedway, Halmar International, and Orange Motorsports and Entertainment. We could not have made that contribution without your support that has driven that 50-50 to over $7,000 over the last 4 days. So our hearts, our prayers go out to Dan Doolin. Life will never be the same for the Doolin family. Dan traveled off to work one morning. He was an operator of Par 5 landscaping, a very popular landscaping term, and went to work doing a tree trimming job, and after coming into contact with high tension lines and electrical wires, was severely electrocuted and still remains in a medically induced coma right now. And the family is just in havoc over what instantly happened in a heartbeat to driver Dan Doolin. So thank you for your support. Thank you for the individual contributions as we collected all weekend long. Thank you to the Orange County Speedway, Halmar International, Orange Motorsports and Entertainment. They will take the entire 50-50 proceeds of $7,000+ and put that into the can for the Dan Doolin family. "94 laps old is this Sunday afternoon's Eastern States 200 here at the Orange County Fair Speedway in Middletown, New York, 6 laps shy of the halfway point. Track is open once again. Jessica Zemken-Friesen, Stewie Friesen's wife, the 1ZT's Halmar number 1Z car, made its quick pit stop down there in pit road. She drives away right now. Ryan Godown back on pit lane right now, as is Chris Schultz in the Liberty Rock Crushing 24 car. I'll tell you, yeah, Rick Ryder just pointed out something that I quickly spotted too. The right rear is going squishy on the number 5 car, so it's losing oxygen, as Danny Johnson would say. So they've got the go-down car back up off the jack right now, and they're going to replace that right rear tire. Go-down felt something was not awry. Go-down was almost sideways, as Rick Ryder pointed out, going down the home straightaway before, and that's when the 716 of Corey Lowen kind of tapped him a little bit and got mixed up down there in turn number 1. So 96 laps is the reason for that caution. Let's go downstairs to Mandy Pouch on pit road. Mandy?
Thanks, Tim. Talking to the drivers earlier, they were taking into consideration the cold weather and the clouds. Yes, the sun might be out, but it is going down. They believe that with the cold weather, it may make the track less abrasive, so tire wear won't be as strong as years in the past. And with these recent pit stops with about 90 laps on them, no wear at all. So they may just be able to go the entire distance. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you very much, Mandy Pouch. Brilliant observation. Track temperature has a lot to do with tire wear, and they feel that because of the cooler temperatures out there this afternoon. Gary Ballou confirmed that, of course. A cooler temperature racetrack will be less on the tires, less abrasive on the tires?
Oh, for sure. You know, it's a better tire wear, but I don't believe they can go 200 laps on fuel. So if you're going to come and get fuel, you're going to put a tire on it. There's no sense in getting fuel without a tire, but unless you run a 390 carbon, small carbon, and maybe you could make the distance with a tire and fuel. I run 200 laps here, start to finish, and let every lap. So it was a long time ago. We did have a small carburetor.
Yeah, of course, nowadays they're demanding a little bit more horsepower. And boy, these big blocks are certainly thirsty for fuel nowadays. So, okay, so fuel was almost mandatory. And why, like you say, while you're there, why not take on a tire change? You got different crew members taking care of stuff like that. So one can go to work on the tire of that car, at least the right rear tire, while they're giving her a splash of VP. So, all right, good observation by both Gary Ballou, our color commentator up here for the Eastern States race, and Mandy Pouch, family member from the Pouch Racing family. "98 laps old, 2 laps shy of the Budweiser halfway challenge, and $1,000 going out to the halfway leader of this event.
Ronnie Johnson once again takes the green flag down the home straightaway. Johnson, the Mickles Automotive number 2 car from Greensburg, New York. Back up on the lead step down the back straightaway. They travel this time. Super Matt Shepard on the Waterloo, the dentist number 9 car, traveling right there in spot number 2. He has not made a mandatory pit stop either in the number 9 car. Third spot is Mark Johnson. The battle for spot number 4. Halfway sign comes out. It is going to go to Ronnie Johnson. Ronnie Johnson, a $1,000 recipient of the Budweiser Halfway Challenge, brought to us by Dana Distributors. A big thank you to Dana Distributors, providing us with Budweiser beer, the official beer of the Orange County Fairgrounds. So Ronnie Johnson just picked up a $1,000 handshake from Budweiser and Dana. Super Matt right there, spot 2. Mark Johnson third. Tommy Hiley, the M&H Tractor Company, about earlier this race, he almost won a lap down, stayed on the lead lap. He's already up to spot number 4. Kyle Armstrong, fifth. Stuart Friesen, the first car in that lineup now to have made his mandatory pit stop. Stewie drives back there in spot number 6. 7th place is the Doctor, Katie Johnson. Johnson rides in 7th aboard that Shackleton Napa-sponsored number 21 car. 8th is then Jimmy Phelps. Phelps back there in spot number 8. 9th is Gary Edwards Jr. 10th is Timmy Fuller. A battle for spot 11 as Kenny Tremont takes it away from Matt Williamson. And Brad Hurd makes a move into spot number 12. Hurd up in the number 12 spot, the middle place number 20 car. As Matt Williamson goes back to spot number 13. Billy Decker is 14th. And Jimmy Phelps is spot number 15. Here they come down the home straightaway on the top side now of the 2018 running of the Eastern States 200. This race is now 103 laps old. Ronnie Johnson, long shot, the leader with about a 5-car length gap on Matt Shepard. Shepard, boy, what a great season he's had on the dirt motorsport circuit this year. Runs a lot of races, visits a lot of different sized racetracks, and you can always count on Super Matt to make a great appearance at a racetrack, even as an outside invader. Caution lights are on the speedway again. Lap number 104, we'll tell you why as soon as we take a scan around the 5/8 mile here and figure out what may be the reason for this caution. We see Chuck McKee's car has gone behind pit wall. Will he go up on pit road or will he go behind the pit road wall and see if it might be terminal? So McKee obviously slowed down the back straightaway. Chuck McKee, the reason for this caution on lap number 104. To get out of harm's way and create any type of havoc. McKee has made his own way into the pit area right now. So field under yellow, we don't see a key down here on pit road. He may have taken that car behind pit wall. Reason for the caution again. Out of retirement, the Middletown Missile. Always hate it when I call them the Chuck Wagon, but Chuck McKee, a carpenter, 60-year-old carpenter from here in Middletown, New York, hadn't been in a race car for the last season, brought that 4-coil car out to the Orange County Speedway. Hey, Gary Ballou, how about this 4-coil setup that's coming back into the world of dirt motorsports racing after a dozen years of torsion bars? Now you go back to what you guys used to run back in the 70s, coil-over suspension.
Well, we didn't run coil over the back. We run torsion bars or leaf spring as far as the dirt cars, the modified cars. We've been on coilovers forever, the late model stuff. And I always felt like I wanted to try that. But these cars are so narrow chassis-wise in the back, it's hard to get the shock angles right. And that's real important in the wrap-up. These cars move so much, as far as the rear steer and everything. So to get a more coilover car to work is a pretty good trick. But I think it gets through the holes, probably get through the holes better. It gets softer. So, yeah, first guy that makes it work is going to be the hero.
So as you said, it's not only, of course, they got to pick out what weight spring to put on as a coil spring shock. You got 100 different weights of springs, amount of compression, but you also got to take the shock angle because that means a lot in the performance of a shock absorber.
Yes, it does. And these cars, the shocks stand up pretty straight, and that makes it real hard to load the left rear because it becomes like a jack in a box on a rebound. And if you put too much rebound in a shock, then you can't get through the holes. Because you got to remember, asphalt smooth, and this could get real rough.
Now, a lot of times people think, okay, all the pressure and all the weight and all the attention is on the right rear corner. That's not true. In a dirt stock car like this, you want to get as much left rear weight and left rear power, left rear bite as they call it. That changes shock technology for the left rear corner, does it not?
Yes, it does. I mean, more rebound in the left rear gives you more traction up off. So, I mean, but it's a balance because if you get, like I say, you still got to get to the holes. And you still got to compensate for what the right rear is doing, how far it's falling over. So shocks have come a long, long ways. I mean, everything we do now, we're on bump stops and bump springs. And it's way different because we do everything with a gale force. We all our preloads and our loads and everything with the lake roll stuff. So it's a hard deal. Where with a torsion bar, you kind of load the right rear and it holds the right rear up. And you just kind of gently, put some left rear in and take all bite or wedge. And of course, wedge and bite makes you get off the corner faster. It's like the other night with Jimmy. I watched him up here and watched Jimmy and Stewart race in the Champions race. Jimmy didn't have as much wedge as Stewart did, and he could run the bottom better early, but Stewart had to run the top because he was tight. And once Stewart got the right rear hot, he could move to the bottom because he didn't have wedge to get off the corner. And that's where he was beating Jimmy just a little bit off the corner. And talking to Jimmy, he did have less wedge. So it's just a total combination. The whole thing is about balance.
So if you put together a 4-coil car right now for one of these drivers, would you tell them to keep the left rear shock straight up and down or angle a little bit towards the inside of the car?
We've been figuring out how to angle it if we had to do it with cantilevers, because I just don't believe that you can get the rate right and the rebound right with the coil over left rear.
And then, of course, add to that shock technology. Nowadays, you guys have adjustable shocks. Back in the 70s, it was right off the box, out of the box. You couldn't adjust those shocks. Now you can.
No, you're wrong there because I run conies back there. When I race here, I had conies on it. I had an Allen wrench in my pocket. I could adjust the rebound, and I could change the compression. When they'd have a red flag because we were racing on fuel, you couldn't run a lot of caution laps. We'd run out of fuel. So when they stopped, that little pencil air gauge, I'd adjust the air pressure, adjust the car, and work on my shocks. We didn't have a shock dynos back then. The shock dyno was the racetrack. So every week I just tweak on it, adjust on it, until I get the combination I wanted.
All right, there you have it. That technology still applies to today's stock car racing. So even back in the 70s when coilovers were the mainstay, they kind of went away for about a dozen years. They gave way to torsion bars. Now these 4-coil cars are becoming more and more attention paid to them, of course, now in the modern day stock car racing era. But it's just kind of strange because we only have about maybe a half a dozen coilover cars here on the track today. I know Chuck McKee is one of the few coilover cars, 4 coilover cars, abandoning torsion bar technology. Here we come on turn number 4, back to racing action here this afternoon at the Orange County Fair Speedway. We are green on lap number 110. Super Matt Shepard is up there in the number 1 spot. And by virtue of pit stop, Super Matt has inherited the lead of this prestigious historical 200-lap feature event. Super Matt down the back straightaway immediately puts about a 4-5 car length gap between himself and second place man Tommy Hindley, local driver from Fair Oaks, New York, aboard the number 17H car. The M&H Tractor Company sponsor mount, Tommy Hindley, part of the Hindley Brothers Racing family. Tommy out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. A 52-year-old driver, an auto mechanic by day and a race driver on a Saturday to Sunday. And he is up there in the number 2 spot right now. So Hindley drives spot number 2. Super Matt is our leader. Stuart Friesen lurks back there in the number 3 spot right now, and he is the first driver in the top 3 that has already made his mandatory pit stop. Stewie may be playing it safe. Billy Decker is in trouble down the home straightaway. Decker's car is shut off. The Smith Site Development number 91 car, Billy Decker from Unadilla, New York. This will bring out the yellow flag again, so we are yellow here at the Orange County Speedway. 53-year-old Billy Decker in the Smith Site Development McNell. The car is just shut off and lost power on the home straightaway, and no easy entrance into the pit area from the straightaway like they are in the backstretch. We will throw the yellow flag again and blow these cars up a little bit, bring them back together, and we'll send help out to the speedway for Billy Decker's hot rod. Yellow again on lap number 114 of this afternoon's running of the Eastern States 200. So the first driver in the top right now to make his pit stop is Stuart Friesen in the Halmar International number 44 car. Top 2 drivers have not made their pit stop. Then let's go from there on back. Stewie is 3rd right now. 4th is the number 21 car, and that of course is Danny Johnson, made a pit stop. 5th is the Jimmy Phelps car. 6th is Timmy Fuller. 7th is Brett Hurd. He made his pit stop. He had some tire woes early, but he is up in the number 7 spot right now. Matt Williamson is 8th. 9 is Kenny Tremont. 10th is then Craig Mitchell. 11th is Tyler Dipple. 12th on the lineup right now is the number 4, Billy Van Imingen. Bobby Varon is 13th. 14th is Mad Max McLaughlin. 15th is the 17 of Matt Janiak. 16th is then the number 44 of Anthony Perego. 17th would then be the 3-car Billy Pouch Jr. 18th is the 4 of Andy McKinney. 19th is Mike Mahaney, and 20th is Mike Maresca. 33 cars remain on the speedway after 115 laps of competition. And boy, again, hats off to our track crew. An awesome track surface. Rarely do we see that many cars still on the playground after the halfway point. So a little bit of cooler temperatures, like Mandy Pouch pointed out. The tire wear is not at its premium like we had suspected. Gary Ballou confirmed with us, of course, that a little cooler temperature will be a kinder on tire wear. And of course, a nice track surface that we laid down this year. That's a little bit kinder on tire wear. And Gary, of course, also, we kind of leveled out turns 1 and 2, so you don't have the banking anymore like we used to have, like we still have down in 3 and 4. That's also somewhat kinder on tire wear if you could drive into the turns and race out.
Well, you got to smooth up, because when you got the bank to run against, you can run in a little faster, a little harder against the bank. Where the flatter it is, you got to back the corner up a little bit and use the exit. But most races are one from the middle corner to the starters, from the off the corner to the starters. The entry stop is important as the exit.
All right, so that's a whole new driving style, and of course it is helping. We noticed right off the bat, the first week we had the cars back on the speedway after laying down the new track surface, they all reported that tire wear had dropped drastically. So it is helping these race drivers, the race teams, and of course on the racing budget to have a great track surface like we have out here this afternoon. We provided them throughout the balance of the racing season. Track tire wear was dropped considerably, and of course that means every time they can save a tire, that's about another $165 back into the racing budget. So these tires aren't cheap. Hoosier Racing Tires, of course, is the name of the game here at the Orange County Speedway. They have gone through the test of time and have given these drivers the best performance out here among all the choices of Ford tires. Hoosier Tire is the tire here at the Orange County Speedway.
You know, they want to say that there's no outside, you can't come from the back and so forth. I've watched Brett Hearn come from dead last year all the way up to, what, 7th right now, 6th, on the outside. So there is an outside, and once the bottom rubber's up and it seals over, you could be wishing you could run up there.
Of course, sometimes it takes a little bit more guts also on this kind of a racetrack and this kind of a race to stay continually on the outside. But a guy like Hearn, who's no newcomer to the Orange County Speedway, this is his home turf. Even though he's not here every Saturday night, this is still considered his home turf. The most winningest driver ever at the Orange County Speedway. This guy has done more than any other race driver has, and has won this event 12 times, 175 modified wins alone, and the most winningest driver in the history of this legendary House of Power. Hearn, as Gary pointed out, is back up to spot number 7. Early race tire woes. He came twice for tires. He's back up to 6th now by virtue of the pit stop. So he had some early race tire woes. He corrected those quickly, used his head, used the outside, as Gary said, and has marched now back up to the number 6 spot. We've still got a long way to go. Here we come out of turn number 4. Dropping the green flag. Leader is the only driver who has not pitted. Here comes the Dr. Danny Johnson down the back straightaway. The Doctor is in the house this Sunday afternoon. He marches up to spot number 3 and drove by Stuart Friesen. Oh, baby, Danny is on the move. The Doctor out of Rochester, and we often tease him. He's a big blockologist. He is a doctor of big blockology, and he can drive a race car around any speedway that he touches down with. Up to spot number 2 here this Sunday afternoon. Friesen back to 3rd. Jimmy Phelps is 4th. Timmy Fuller in spot number 5. Down the back straightaway they travel again. Super Matt taking off in the number 9 car. And he puts a big gap of space between himself and second place man, Danny Johnson. Johnson, the Shackleton Napa car, back there in spot number 2. Stuart Friesen is 3rd. Jimmy Phelps rides in 4th. Timmy Fuller is 5th. 6th is Matt Williams, and 7th is Brett Hearn. Kenny Tremont is 8th. Tyler Dimple 9th. And Craig Mitchell in spot number 10 right now. Then Bobby Varon is 11th. 12th is the Matt Janiak car. 13th place battle is on. Mad Max McLaughlin drops down to the inside of the Ford car, Billy Van Imogen. Mad Max, of course, from Mooresville, North Carolina, looks to take that 13th place real estate away from Billy Van Imogen in the Escape RV car. Van Imogen's alive and well on the outside. Max McLaughlin on the inside for the McLaughlin Racing family. They've had a lot of time on asphalt in their early part of their career, located down south to North Carolina to help out the NASCAR boys. But young Mad Max, at 19 years of age, has come back to the Orange County Speedway to represent the family name in that Textron off-road number 3 car doing a great job. The 6th car is Mad Max McLaughlin, as we've nicknamed him for many years here at the circuit. Yellow, yellow, yellow in the speedway. We've got trouble on a turn number 4. Cars involved include the 17 of Tommy Heinley, tough break, the 43 of Jimmy Horton. Horton's also involved. 1 car in front of him is also involved. The 3 of Sammy March, the other car involved down there. Also involved is the 19 of Chuck McKee. 4 cars involved in a tangle on a turn number 4. Caution lights on this afternoon. 125 laps old is this 200-lap shootout. 75 laps the distance. Only leader, Matt Shepard, has not made his mandatory pit stop as of yet. From there on back, they are clean and green to the checker flag should they choose to do so, including second place man Danny Johnson. Johnson's in spot number 2, Stuart Friesen in 3 right now. Boy, some suspension damage obviously on the M&H Tractor Company number 19 car. Chuck McKee kind of limps down the straightaway here. Probably a broken coilover on that car, because that's the only thing that would really hold up that rear like that and let her drop down, and he may even slice a tire before he gets back behind pit wall. He keeps trying to nurse that car back behind there under his own power. Yellow on 126. McKee steers into the left side right now. His best bet is to use the inner side of the pit area to get back down to his pit stall, because it's way down on the inside of turn number 4. Action continues this afternoon here at the Orange County Fair Speedway for the 2018 running of the Halmar International. Arkel Motors, WLR Construction, Pine Bush Equipment Company 200 for big block modifieds. This is the 57th anniversary of this historic race, the oldest big block modified continuing race for extra distance laps in the United States of America, as this is the oldest continuously operating racetrack on a weekly basis here in Middletown, New York. Began way back in 1919, and boy, we are so proud of our history as we head for our centennial next year. And as Chris Larson from Halmar International said, you think this year's great, you wait till year 100 next year in 2019. You'll see things that you never could believe happen here at the Orange County Speedway. And boy, how much better can it get? This is like every race fan's dream. If you have a heart for the Orange County Fair Speedway, and who doesn't? You know, it's like a kid on Christmas time laying at home in bed at night thinking about what's going to be under the tree. We come out here on a Saturday night in 2018, and wow, the improvements we saw, we never dreamed could happen. So thank you to Halmar International and Orange Motorsports and Entertainment for what they have done this year here at the Orange County Speedway. The best is yet to come, and we certainly hope that we have entertained you well over 4 days of stock car excitement and entertainment going on back there in the newly expanded Midway Plaza here at the Orange County Speedway. We did our very best to bring to you, of course, the greatest in musical entertainment. We tried to keep the kids entertained all weekend long with the gaming center down there and the RC track, and of course the Little Jeffers pit shop down there where they can play ball and stuff. And we even had a mechanical bull on here. Hey Gary, did you take a ride on the mechanical bull last night?
No, I didn't do too well the last time I tried that.
All right.
I don't know, maybe I wasn't sober neither, but I busted my tail on that pretty good.
We prefer to keep our parts exactly where they are too, so we just kind of watched the mechanical bull last night, but that was a big part of the action here for the New Year's Eve party at Maxwell's 31st lap, and a big thank you to the Maxwell family for continuously providing us with, of course, great racetrack food and beverages. The 31st lap has been a big fixture here at the Orange County Speedway for so many years. Every Saturday night, that's the place to go after the final checker flag flies, and so many drivers and teams come over here and just enjoy some really good camaraderie. And you know what? I got to hand it to you race fans, especially you serious party goers. You guys behaved really well, and we want to thank you. We want to thank you for partying responsibly. Security reported had great reports all weekend long. Thank you for enjoying responsibly and doing a great job. Now, leader Super Matt Shepard on pit road. He is making his first mandatory pit stop out here this afternoon. This will count. Hey Gary, 75 more laps to go. Super Matt on fresh tires. He's taking a splash of VP. He can go the distance. He has a little bit of advantage now over everybody else out here.
Well, he would have an advantage, but there's still a lot of cars running the lead lap. So he's going to have to race real hard, and most of them all fit. So now he's going to have to race past him. So I don't think pitting late today was the answer. Pitting early today's the answer. I think Stuart's going to show you that before this is said and done. But then Hearn got in trouble. If Hearn hadn't got in trouble with be right back to what we had here the other night, the small block race with Hearn and Stewart. So I don't know. That strategy's good. We've done that before. We've won before like that, but there's a lot of cars still on the race.
You know, let's talk about the disappointment last night here for the finishing results of the 100-lap feature on a borrowed ride. He came up 11 pounds shy. And, you know, 11 pounds in a race car, you guys build them to be almost exactly to the ounce. So, yeah, 11 pounds does make a lot of difference to race cars.
Well, 11 pounds makes a difference on the tires and it makes a difference on getting off the corner faster. But you got to be right when you go back over the scale. And I think what happened there was that the driver that drives the car regularly is like 25 pounds heavier than Stu. They just miscalculated that. And the other thing was they run a ton of cautions last night. And you can never figure the cautions. We look at it like, let's figure an average of what it's been the last 2 or 3 years. But there's no judging it. You'll never know what it's going to be in that kind of bidding.
Now, Mission Control reports that Shepard just lost a lap on pit road. The field went by, so Matt Shepard has lost a lap, and that dashes his efforts for a trip to victory lane. That is so disappointing.
Effort for the race today.
Oh, that is so disappointing for Matt Shepard, an outstanding driver here in the Northeast, to lose a lap in the pit area. There again, races can be won or lost in the pit area. Certainly true out here. Down the back straightaway, we got trouble. Hearn may be in trouble. The car slowed down the back straightaway. Let's see where he's at on the racetrack right now. He's on the outside. Looks like he's getting possibly a flat right rear tire, and he's on the outside lane of the speedway. Back down to the inside. He almost got drop kicked that time by Mark Johnson down the back straightaway, so there could be a right rear tire going down on the Metal Plus number 20 car. Brett Hearn, let's take a good look at that as he comes by this time. Something's wrong. Something's obviously wrong with that car. It has to be more than just popping out of gear. But something is obviously wrong because he lost a whole lot of spots in a whole little bit of time. Back up to racing speeds, kind of adjusting the way he uses the throttle of that car right now. You can see him entering and exiting that throttle point a lot earlier than normal. So Hearn's got some problems aboard that car. Don't know if we'll be able to ask him about it in victory lane or not. 134 laps old is the prestigious 200-lap big block modified feature we know as the Eastern States 200. It continues here this afternoon in Middletown, New York at the Orange County Fairgrounds as we are set for the biggest race of the season. And on the last half of it, it won't be long till we talk to a driver in victory lane with a $40,000 paycheck. Racing for the #1 spot right now, 2 classic drivers in the world of big block modified excitement. The Dr. Danny Johnson has assumed the #1 spot, and Stuart Friesen is on the hunt back there in spot number 2. So the Shackleton Napa car that stood by Danny Johnson for so many rides that he's had in the past 2 years is up there in the #1 spot. Friesen second, the Halmar car. Jimmy Phelps is third, the JMB car. Timmy Fuller is fourth in the St. Lawrence car. Fifth is Matt Williams in the Barron's car. Sixth is then Kenny Tremont. Seventh is Tyler Dimple. Eighth is Craig Mitchell. Ninth is now is Brett Hearn. He lost 3 spots. 10th is going to be Bobby Farron. 11th is the 17 of Matt Janiak. Top 10 recap unofficially after 137 laps of competition here this afternoon. Big gap of space between spots number 3 and 4. Danny Johnson trying to stretch out that #1 spot and hold Stuart Friesen at bay. Down the straightaway, Johnson puts about a 4-car like this in between Friesen, but Friesen appears to play a catch-up down there on the inside of turn number 3 and 4 that time. Picked up about 2-car lengths the gap. But down the straightaway, boy, Danny Johnson's got one fast hot rod this Sunday afternoon. Well, inching up to the halfway point. We got about 12 laps to go until the 150-lap mark out here this afternoon, and that'll be a 75% way mark for a trip to victory lane out here. Guy keeping his cool back there has got to be Jimmy Phelps in the JMB installation, Mohawk Niagara Northeast, number 93 car, or 98 car. Another very versatile driver, very popular driver upstate New York, back there solidly running a number 3 spot with a big gap of space between him and Timmy Fuller. Fuller out of Edwards, New York, in that St. Lawrence Radiology sponsor big block. Another good threat to be reckoned with on Eastern States weekend. Not a regular here, but boy, I'll tell you what, that guy is fast and always has had a good showing on Eastern States. Running up there in the number 4 spot right now is Timmy Fuller. 5th is Matt Williamson from St. Catharines, Ontario. Running for the Barron's family, caution lights is on the speedway. Chris Schultz is in trouble on a turn number 4. The right rear suspension has dropped down, and it is causing havoc on that right rear Hoosier. It's smoking, and it'll no doubt tear that tire apart in no time at all. as Matt Schultz is going to try and make the wide left-hand swing right now down behind pit wall. Yellow lights come on, 141 laps. It is for the Liberty Rock Crushing 24 car of Matt Schultz, and obviously it's more than just a tire because that right rear suspension dropped down significantly. So, yellow lights conditions as we inch up to the 75% mark here this afternoon. So a couple more pit stops going to be made right now on lap number 141. Pits are open. Safety truck takes him down the inside. Matt Shepard back behind pit wall again aboard the Dentist number 9 car. He's on pit road right now. A couple cars down there also making their pit stop is Mike Maresca in the 7M car, still sporting damage from earlier. And the number 4 car are Billy Van Imingen, local driver out of nearby Sparrowbush, New York, and the Escape RV Barbagallo family sponsored and owned car. Joey Barbagallo Jr., actually the owner of that Escape RV number 4 car that Billy Van Imingen has piloted for so many seasons here at the legendary House of Power. You know, as Bill points out, Bill Utter is up here with us, Quinn, and he's one of our statisticians that helps out on a weekly basis. Bobby Varon, of course, winner of this event in the early 2000s. He won this event back in 03. He started 38th, and he's up to spot number 10 right now. He has covered up 28 spots. Remember, he was the driver who gave up $2,000 after winning that B-Main to make his way into the 200 out here this afternoon, and a smart choice was that of his because he's already up in the 10th spot, and that spot will earn him well over the $2,000 mark for finishing in that spot. So he already made it a good gesture, and he said down in victory lane, I'm a race driver. I'm going for the starting spot. 10th spot, by the way, in the Eastern States 200 is worth $3,500, so it was already a $1,500 gesture to take the starting spot rather than taking the money and loading her up. So Bobby Varon, 10th spot, could be the hard charger, which will bring another cash bonus. Here we come on a turn number 4 right now. We are going back to green flag racing action. Danny Johnson out of Rochester, New York, leads this afternoon Eastern States 200 for the big block modifieds. The doctor pedaling down the back straightaway just as fast as his little ankles will take him right now. He knows he's got to keep on top of things because he's got Stuart Friesen, one of the most winningest drivers here in the Northeast, right there in his tail with the ever so popular Hallmark car. Friesen's on the inside, Johnson's on the outside, and drag race for the number 1 spot. Watch him down the home straightaway. Friesen muscles his way to the inside. Stuart Friesen grabbed that number 1 spot away from Danny Johnson. Gonna watch Johnson's right rear tire. Could he have a tire going down? Because all of a sudden that car seemed to slow coming out of turn number 4. Friesen was on the inside. He couldn't swap to the outside, so he just kind of muscled his way right through. And he is our new race leader after 146 laps of competition. Danny Johnson is second. Jimmy Phelps third. Timmy Fuller fourth. Kenny Tremont is up to spot number 5. Immediately, Stuart Friesen has put a big gap of space between himself and Danny Johnson's hot rod. About 6 car lengths the gap right now. Still questioning the oxygen level in the right rear of Danny Johnson's tire because it just looked a little bit more squishier than everybody else's tire. So it may be causing a handling problem aboard that 21A, the Shackleton Napa car. You see the car really leans over as it comes out of turn number 4. And boy, I'll tell you what, it's leaning over strong in the turn 1 and 2 area as well. So Johnson's now back to spot number 2. Jimmy Phelps is 3rd. Fuller 4th. Tremont 5th. Williamson is 6th. Dimple 7th. Hearn is up to spot number 8. 9th is Mitchell, and 10th is McLaughlin. 11th is then Barron. Battle for spot number 12 between Billy Pouch Jr. and the Ringos Rocket Ryan Godown. Side by side they travel in a wild battle for that position right now. Drag race is on with, of course, Godown being on the outside. That's where he feels most comfortable at any speedway he's at. Running up the outside, going as fast as he can, working that car to the front. So good racing action going on deep in the heart of this big block modified campaign for the balance of this Eastern States 200. We've only got 25% the distance left to this historical race here at the Orange County Fair Speedway. Friesen in control of things. Looking farther back, the race is still on between Billy Pouch Jr. and Ryan Godown. Right behind him is Matt Janiak. Then a separate race between the 44 of Anthony Perego and the 2RJ of Ronnie Johnson. So some of the best racing you'll see right now in the Speedway is in the last half of the running order. Field huddling down there between 1 and 2. Leaders coming out of turn number 4 this time. It continues to be Stuart Friesen. Stewie up in the command drive right now. Danny Johnson still 2nd. Lots of elbow space in the top 5. Tremont and outside of Vader. For the distance that Tremont has come, how many races he has run here at the Orange County Speedway. We talked to his son last night. Oh, a flat tire on Matt Janiak's Helmar 17 will bring out the yellow flag on lap number 153. Yellow on the Speedway. Just about to say that we talked with the Tremont family, and Kenny Tremont has never won this event. It's one race he wants to win. He said just as much as he ever wanted to win Syracuse, he wants to win the Eastern States race, and he has not won this event yet. He's back there in spot number 5. At go down. We're going to take a quick look at him and see where he's at on the Speedway, as that battle may have cost him some time also. We think he's back behind pit wall right now, back in pit road, behind pit wall. Oh, Godown, we can't even see that from our vantage point. Ryan Godown's car is shut off. From a point we can't see from up here in the broadcast booth, but Godown's car has shut off on the outside of turn number 4. So Ryan Godown in trouble after making a mad dash effort in the last part of this event and in the last half of the running order. Field will remain under yellow right now. Matt Janiak brought out the yellow with a flat right rear tire, and then Ryan's Godown car has shut off in turn number 4. So 2 separate incidents on the Speedway. Command the yellow at lap number 155. Gotta send a very big thank you out to 2 gentlemen who work with me up here side by side on a weekly basis. John Snyder and Bill Utter. They are columnists for the Area Auto Racing News, and a great job they do in racing journalism, but they also work with us every Saturday night up here at the Orange County Speedway and provide me with so much quick to draw statistical information about racing action here at the Speedway. Not only up-to-date information, but historical information as well. Whenever we have a question about any type of driver, his stats, his history, Bill Utter and John Snyder can instantly provide us with answers to that. And John also has a lot of great history about the past of this Speedway as well. So my personal thanks out to John Snyder, Bill Utter for being my continued assistance up here for many years at the Orange County Speedway up here in the broadcast booth. And you think I know what I'm talking about? No, I really don't. It's because of guys like Bill Utter and John Snyder that just make it sound that way. So thank you, John, and thank you, Bill, for your continued help. Much appreciated. Well, one of the prizes, of course, besides the $40,000 first place paycheck that every driver wants to see in Victory Lane, is our exclusive winner's ring. It is provided to us by the official jeweler of the Orange County Fair Speedway, Espier's Jewelers, out of Route 94 in New Windsor, New York. A big thank you to the help of Ray and Sharon Taraka for so many years. They have provided us with very impressive jewelry and very specialized and customized jewelry here for the Orange County Fair Speedway. They do it at the awards presentation for the champions each year. And of course, they always have a specially designed winner's ring for the modified portion of Eastern States. The winner's ring will be presented 50 laps from now to the winner of this Eastern States 200. Thank you, Espier's Jewelers, our official jewelry store of the Orange County Speedway. Give them a call if you're looking for something special, as I just did for my wife. Did a beautiful, beautiful mother's ring for my wife. And boy, I'll tell you what, the price was tremendous. The job and the quality, the performance, breathtaking. Certainly got me a couple of warm meals for all week long, so they do a great job. If you're looking for some specialized jewelry, they'll be a good friend to you, and keep that in mind for Christmas time as well. "157 laps into this afternoon's 200 lap Eastern States 200 on the latter part, 25% the distance, the way home to a checkered flag under sunshiny skies here in Middletown, New York, about an hour and some minutes away from New York City. Thanking, of course, the many thousands of race fans that have helped make this one of the greatest Eastern States ever. Great, I'll tell you what, great feeling to stop downstairs in the Midway Plaza this weekend and talk to a lot of the race fans out there. And so many people, so many race fans are passionate about their sport, about their drivers. They love it, and they love to get together and talk about racing. And I'll tell you what, the atmosphere that has been built at the Orange County Speedway behind the Midway Plaza at the 31st lap, now with the addition of the big stage that was put up this summer, the big tent, great entertainment, great music, of course, all weekend long, thanks to Orange Motorsports and Entertainment, some of the top names in music, a good diversity of music as well. Nobody can say that they didn't like at least some of the bands that were out here this weekend, because there was something for everybody, and every musical genre and musical taste was brought to us this weekend. Thank you all. We couldn't have done it. It's no party without a couple of thousand fans stopping back there behind the Midway Plaza at the 31st lap, and you guys certainly supported that well. Halloween party, New Year's Eve party, and of course, we couldn't have done it without you, our Orange County racing family. Thank you, family, for coming out to our house this Eastern States racing weekend. Well, obviously nothing was wrong with Danny Johnson's car, because although he seemed to slow up a little bit when Stuart Friesen muscled his way down to the inside of that classic drag race at a 4, Johnson has remained out on the speedway, so if something developed suddenly in that car, it has certainly worked itself out, because Danny Johnson is opting to stay out of the speedway and not take it back to the pit wall for any reason for a pit stop. So it could be another classic battle at the drop of the green flag. Caution lights have been turned off on lap number 159. Hey, you want to see a great drag race and big block modified drivers? Watch this, because Danny Johnson is not the type of guy that want to take the back seat or the inside lane. Here they come on a turn number 4 this time, and Stewie hopped to the point. Stewie's up on the top side. He grabs back the number 1 spot. He knows he's got to act quickly with a guy like Danny Johnson alongside of him. Wasted no time at all, securing the lead on the lineup. Max McLaughlin up on the outside of Brett Hearn right now. McLaughlin losing that fight down the back straightaway. Hearn pulls ahead, takes Tyler Dimple with him. We're looking at the Brett Hearn battle with Max McLaughlin back there around spot number 7 right now. Here they come out of turn number 4. Let's reset the field as Stuart Friesen is your leader. Danny Johnson second. Battle for third right now. Timmy Fuller takes spot number 3 away from Jimmy Phelps now 4th. Matt Williamson is 5th. Kenny Tremont 6th. Hearn back up to spot number 7. Tyler Dimple was 8th. Then the battle for spot number 9. The 76 car. Bobby Varon takes over 9th spot, putting Max McLaughlin back to the number 10 spot. McLaughlin tries to rebound on the outside with Billy Pouch Jr. in spot number 11 right there behind him. So Pouch Jr. is 11th in a battle for spot number 12 right now. On the inside is the 93 car of Craig Mitchell, and on the outside is the 2RJ car of Ronnie Johnson. They're going to soon have Kid Giddiap to deal with, as we call him here at the Orange County Speedway, our point champion, Anthony Borrego. He's back there in the Superior modeling car running around spot number 14. He is 14th in the lineup. Mike Mahaney is 15th on the outside for spot number 16 right now is Kyle Armstrong, but Rick Laubach will take that spot away from him, putting Armstrong back a notch. 18th is Jessica Zemkin-Friesen. So her husband's up at the front of the pack, and she's back there midway through the lineup right now. Nose and tail battle for the number 3 spot. Timmy Fuller has it in hand. Phelps is 4th. Closest battle in the top 5 right now as we continue on down the back straightaway. Friesen's out of turn number 4 on the inside. Holds on to the number 1 spot. Single file formation down through turns number 1 and 2, trying to conserve tire wear. About the only guy that did make it in a single file order was the 21 car in the back of the pack with Gary Everts aboard. He now nestled back into the inside of the number 4 of Andy McKinney. McKinney is back here, lost out that place of real estate. Friesen leads this event. Danny Johnson still 2nd. Fuller is 3rd. 4th is Phelps. 5th is Matt Williamson. 6th is now Brett Hearn, spot number 6. So Hurd travels back there in spot number 6, most winningest driver of this historical event. 7th is Kenny Tremont, 8th Tyler Dimple. McLaughlin is 9th, Barron 10th. Ronnie Johnson 11th, Billy Pouch Jr. 12th, Craig Mitchell was 13th, Anthony Perigo 14th, Mahaney is 15th, Kyle Armstrong 16th, Laubach 17th, Jessica Friesen is 18th, Superman is 19th. Well, for you folks that were following the straight stock race earlier, just received word from Mission Control that the straight stock winner of Mike Kelly was DQ'd in tech. So the win will be stripped from Mike Kelly, or Skelly that is. Caution lights on the speedway again after lap number 169. Yellow lights on the speedway here this afternoon. Trouble down there with Corey Lowett. Lowett's number 716 car, the United Pump and Tank car. It's against the inside barrier down there between turns number 3 and 4. Yellow on the field again for this afternoon's Eastern States 200 after 169 laps of competition. Tell you, we're talking up here in the broadcast booth. We just received word from the tech area. Again, street stock winner of the Eastern States 25, Mike Skelly, DQ'd in tech. The win, the $2,500 will be stripped from him. Kevin Skelly's win will be taken from him. Kevin Skelly was not the winner, lost it in tech. Talk about an omen. 3rd Eastern States winner this weekend. Wow. As soon as we find out what the infraction was, we'll certainly pass it on to you. Sometimes it's inadvertent.
Good.
Let's go downstairs to Mandy Pouch on pit road. Mandy?
Thanks, Tim. So as you can see, under caution, the drivers are trying to keep heat in their tires so they don't seal over. That way they can conserve them just long enough to make their move as the laps wind down. Back to you, Tim.
Good observation by Mandy Pouch down there on pit road. Of course, they do what my crew chief used to tell me years ago. Go get yourself a handful of wheel. Wiggle that baby back and forth. Keep some heat in those big Hoosier racing tires because you get just the optimum amount of heat, of course. That's going to give you a maximum traction, especially on a temperature track like this, which is cooling off. And Gary Blue, of course, the sun's beginning to set. That will change the temperature of this racetrack, and that will change what happens to tire wear and, of course, handling of a race car.
Well, if you kind of look at it right now, 1 and 2 shaded, and front straightaway shaded. So half the racetrack is shaded right now as if it was dark, which makes the racetrack quicker. You know, the moisture will come up a little bit. We've not lost the bottom yet. The bottom is real good. It's not glazed over or sealed up. So the top hasn't really come in like we thought it might. And looking at it right now, I doubt that it will change that much because it is shaded up all down here now, plus the front straightaway.
So if a tire itself at this point in the race cools off, they're trying to keep heat in the tire right now. If it cools off, will that cause the tire to glaze over?
Well, what'll happen is if the tire cools off, you won't go nowhere for a lap or two. And that can create a problem with whoever you're racing with. So you want to keep the heat in the tire. And you want to keep, in other words, it'll also start to decrease in air pressure, which changes its stagger. So, you know, scuffing the tire back and forth cleans the tire, gets the mud out of the grooves, which is no mud right now, unless you get up there and get the loose stuff. But it just keeps the heat in the tire. It probably started with a 400 on the right rear or 500. That way they got a hard tire in the corner. So with it shaking up on this end, you need to keep heating the tire. That end, the sun's still out, so you have both situations going on here right now.
So 2 different tire situations on the same racetrack because sun's setting out here at the right half of the racetrack and sun is still shining on the left half. That causes different tire demands as well. We still remain under yellow. Now, Gary, that is also true in asphalt racing because, boy, I'll tell you what, you always see the asphalt cars wiggling back and forth under caution to try and keep yellow in there and keep heat in there. But is that more of heat or is that more to clean the tire off as well? Because, boy, you can really make stuff stick to your tire on an asphalt track that you don't want on that tire.
It's both, but it's more so cleaning the tire off because we take a ton of rubber up and catch caution, and that's like when you roll off in the corner, that's like rolling off in there, you know, in oil. So you got to really keep track, keep the the tires clean and keeping the heat in them on the asphalt.
All right, so two different reasons, of course, for wiggling your car back and forth on dirt and on asphalt. But the main thing is, of course, to keep tire temperature and of course to maintain the cleanliness of that tire. We are going back to green flag racing action this afternoon here at the Orange County Fair Speedway. 173 laps, 174 goes up to the distance. Well, it's like a regular Saturday night feature, but we've got trouble on a turn number 4, and this is not a pretty sight. Many cars involved on a turn number 4. Yellow lights go on. We've got Craig Mitchell down there, Sammy Martz. Backwards on the speedway, here's Matt Janiak driving away, Martz drives away. Also involved is the 17 of Tom Heinle, the 7 of Mike Maresca, Corey Lowert, Rick Laubach. Billy Van Imingen car sits down there, damage on that. The 93 of Craig Mitchell, damage on that car. And now the 44 drives away. He's got a little bit of sheet metal damage, and that is Anthony Borrego. So the many cars involved, they've all driven away with the exception of Billy Van Imingen and Craig Mitchell. Yellow at the back on the speedway at the drop of the green flag as they all came barreling off that turn. And Gary, is that the most scariest part of a race, when you restart like this and you have a whole field of cars right there all bunched up just inches from each other, and something like that happens, and boy, you don't know, there's no place to go?
Well, on the other side of it too, we're 175 laps into it, and there's 25 to go, so it's race time. And cautions breed cautions. You stack everybody back up, and everybody feels like they can gain a spot or two on a caution. We get one car to sleep, and everybody jumps to the outside, well then there's going to be an issue, just like we just had. And there again, like cautions breed cautions, and we're 25 to go.
Well, you know, that's interesting. 38 years of doing this stuff up here, and I've never heard that phrase, but how true is it? Cautions breed cautions. I like that. That is so very true in stock car racing. But when you have one, so many times you get 2, 3, 4 right after it. So, hey, Gary, you know your stuff.
Hey, especially when you get 25 laps to go.
Yeah, like we said before, it's like a regular Saturday night feature at this point. These guys are going to pull out all the stops and try and make their way to the front right now. Time is of the essence. Only 25 laps left to this 200-lap feature event. And boy, with all the money we've got on the line here this Sunday afternoon, $40,000 just for first place, $173,000 in prize money. And these guys know that in this race particularly, of course, a couple of spots can mean a couple of $100 difference. Let's take a look at 10th spot is $3,500, 11th is only $2,800, then 12th is $26. It drops $200 increments all the way back down to 15th, which is $2,000, then 16th is $19, 18, 17, 17, 17. As we mentioned before, spots 21 through 30 today will still pay $1,600 a piece, and then from 31 to 44, they're still going to be taking home a $1,500 paycheck. And that's quite impressive on behalf of Orange Motorsports and Entertainment and Halmar International to put together that huge of a purse. Now, Andy McKinney is calling it quits. He's taking the Garrity Asphalt 4 car down behind pit wall. He has left pit road, and he is down behind the hauler right now in the pit area. So that's the end of his afternoon, 25 laps shy of what he had hoped it to. Billy Van Imingen, the Escape RV number 4 car owned by Joey Barbagallo. That car is now being taken off on the business side of the wrecker. And there you see the damage done mainly to the right front quarter and the left rear quarter of the Craig Mitchell's Synergy Products number 93 car. So Craig Mitchell out of Wapanger Falls, New York, the Synergy 93 car. His afternoon comes to a close early. Mitchell, by the way, interesting, we always try and note the ages and occupations of the driver. And so many people say, well, why do you do that? Well, hey, you know what? If you got a carpenter out here and there's a carpenter in a race car, you kind of feel for that guy and you want to be a new race fan of his. But how about Craig Mitchell? He's a representative for ATL Fuel Cells out of Ramsey, New Jersey. And ATL has been a choice of so many race teams here at the Orange County Speedway for so many years. Craig Mitchell represents them well. He is one of their sales reps for ATL Fuel Cells out of Ramsey, New Jersey. There you get a good shot, a good look at the right rear corner. That's where the damage was on the Mitchell hot rod. So
I believe it's damage to the left front, right front.
Yeah.
Basically, the right rear is the worst. So, but Craig does a great job with ATL. I mean, I've dealt with him. And, most of us racers have dealt with him, and he does an excellent job.
Well, you know, like we said, we've got police officers running out here. We've got radiation therapists working out here, and we've got all kind of great occupation people. It's interesting to note what these guys do when they're not racing a stock car, how old they are, and of course what they do in their spare time and what they do for an occupation. So that's why we always try and maybe help the race fans relate to who's in these cars by giving them a little bit of affection for a driver that say, hey, I built docks in New York City as well. There's a dock worker out there, or I am a carpenter or something like that. So that's why we do it. It's not just a babble.
That's cool. I think that's cool that everybody knows that they're not just professional racers, that they have other occupations.
And of course, in this day and age, trying to make a living off of stock car racing, especially short track local stock car racing, there's only about a dozen drivers actually trying to do it right now. And boy, I'll tell you what, unless you have a couple good sponsors behind you and pick and choose your races wisely, as they have done this weekend here for one of the biggest purses in the entire distance of the Northeast Circuit, it can be quite tough to put a living and put food on the table just by running a stock car here on a weekly basis.
Really hard to do. I only raced professionally for a living for a long time. You got to race 4, 5, 6 times a week, and have a lot of good sponsorship behind you, a lot of good people that are willing to travel with you, and it just takes a ton to do all
that. We're trying to remember, Bill Utter just pointed out a very important point to this historical aspect of this event. We know we've had female drivers already in sportsman and small block modified competition, but Jessica Zemken-Friesen, Stewie's wife, may be the only female to ever start a big block modified 200. She's running back there right now, I think, in spot number 13, and she's doing a great job out here this afternoon as well. Jessica Zemken-Friesen started 23rd in the lineup. She comes from a racing background. Her father, Roy, still was a modified campaigner upstate. She ran sprint cars for many years, and then, of course, she fell in love with Stuart Friesen, right? Everybody says, well, who can't? Well, she married him. And boy, husband and wife team out here at the Orange County Fair Speedway. She's got the 1ZT's logo on the back of her quarter panel. Still, of course, helped out by Halmar International. So husband and wife, 1st and 13th right now in the 2018 running of the Eastern States 200. We are live here this beautiful Sunday afternoon in October, the Orange County Fair Speedway, for the culmination of the richest race in history here at the Speedway. Lap counter, as Frank Canizone points out, the lap counter is now frozen. The last 20 laps under the green flag conditions here this afternoon. Last 20 laps, none of those laps will count when the caution flag comes out. So the last 20 laps, we are now going to stop the lap counter at this point. No more laps will accumulate. Everything's got to be clean and green from here right straight through till victory lane.
You were talking about Jess. I don't know if any of y'all ever seen her race a 410 sprint car. You talk about getting it down. She beat all them cats in the World Outlaws. That just gives you a little bit of idea what kind of race driver she really is.
Yeah, I've seen her race sprint cars many times, and boy, I'll tell you what, probably better in a sprint car than she even is in a modified, but look at the job she's doing this afternoon. Y'all can be proud of that.
Well, she hadn't run a modified car that much. Just give her a little time. She'd be right up there in the front. She'd be bumping into Stewart.
And now, of course, you got to be a consultant for her too, right?
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Tough to consult husband and wife, right? I'll tell you, boy. Back to business at the Orange County Fair Speedway here in Middletown, New York. Last 20 laps under the green flag for the 2018 running. The drag race is on. The doctor trying to race Stewie down the home straightaway, then swap lanes as he tucked it in behind him. Well, it didn't work because Stewart knew exactly where to be on the speedway. He didn't give the doctor enough room on the inside to get by, and certainly held him at bay for trying to make an outside move. Stuart Friesen, one very smart race driver this Sunday afternoon here in Middletown, New York. He brings a Halmar 44 car out of turn number 4, puts him on a 3, 4, 5, 5.5, 6 car length gap. Danny Johnson, Shackleton Napa 21 car. Johnson continues to ride in spot number 2. Jimmy Phelps is 3rd. 4th is Timmy Fuller. 5th is Matt Williamson. Tyler Dimple 6th. Tremont 7th. Hearn is slowing down the back straightaway. Hearn just lost 2 spots down the back straightaway. He tucked it down nice and low. We saw him wall up a little bit. He lost 2 spots. We'll have to keep an eye on that car when he goes by this time. Ninth spot now is Brett Hearn, lost 2 spots that time. Gary just pointed out that it could be a power plant issue because it only runs good down to about the starter stand, then it just seems to lag back a little bit, so he could have issues underneath the hood of that car. He's back there fighting for 9th right now as Mike Mahaney tries to come down to the inside. Mahaney may steal that 9th place share of real estate away from Hearn. Hearn's caught to the outside. Mahaney goes 9th, and then here comes the 9th car. Trouble in turn number 2. Sammy March glanced off the Mason area and kept on going. So March will not bring out the yellow, but the Izzy trucking and rigging car may have damage on the right side of the mount. Meanwhile, again, Spot 5 is Williamson, Dimple 6th, Tremont 7th, Ronnie Johnson is 8th. Now 9th spot is Mike Mahaney, 10th is Matt Shepard, 11th is now Brett Hurd, dropping back 3 spots. 12th is then Max McLaughlin, 13th is Jess Zemkin, and Hurd again loses a spot down the back straightaway. Again, the Hurd car is in AL mode right now. There's something wrong in the power plant of Hurd. He lost 3 spots in the last 2 laps here this afternoon. So 11th is now McLaughlin, Hurd back to 12th, Zemkin is still 13th, 14th is Bobby Barron, 15th Gary Edwards, 16th is Janiak, 17th is Sammy Martz. '17th is Matt Hitchcock, 18th is Tom Hindley, 19th is Timmy Fuller, and 20th is then the 7th car of Rick Laubach. 21st is Billy Pausch with a damaged race car. 22nd, Kyle Armstrong. 23rd is Jimmy Horton back out of the Speedway. 24th is Corey Lowert, and 25th is then Sammy Martz. 25 cars on the Speedway after 186 laps of competition. Oh, what a playground they had to work with here today. Well, we see the 7 of Mike Maresca. Ooh, that rear suspension just locked up right there on him. Oh, the rear end broke a radius rod, obviously on the rear side, because that rear end is just taking a mind of its own right now, wiggling around back there. That's the car, not the driver, of course. So that's what it's caused the yellow after lap number 187. Broken rear suspension on the 7 of Mike Maresca in the St. Lawrence Radiology number 7M car. Maresca, an outside invader out of Potsdam, Massachusetts, 23-year-old manager in that Teo chassis race car. His race comes to a close now, 13 laps shy of the checkered flag this afternoon for the Eastern States 200. Caution laps do not count, so that means if you're going to make a pit stop now, you got to do it very smartly, because the field will continue on and go back to green flag racing as quickly as possible. Field lined up, single file formation, of course, only to keep them in line behind the power of the Orange County Speedway pace truck. One thing, of course, that keeps it exciting here at the Orange County Speedway, double file restarts right down to the checkered flag. And boy, I'll tell you, more than once, a race has been won and decided on the last lap because of double file restarts. Unofficially talking with Rick Ryder up here in the hard charger part of this event. Bobby Barron has moved up 24 spots, but Tommy Hindley has moved up 27 spots. So Tommy Hindley may be in line for hard charger this event. We'll know when the final checkered flag flies in just 13 laps from now. Got to thank Gary Ballou. Gary, I'll tell you what, you've done many things in racing. I don't know how much color commentary you've done, but you've been a great help to us here in this Eastern States weekend and been very accommodating to us. And of course, what a great job you've done up here in the broadcast booth. We thank you for your knowledge and your insight, and boy, you're welcome back up here anytime.
Wow, it was cool. And just listening to you, Tim, it's been such a lesson for me to understand how much y'all go through with this end of the deal. I've not been able to, be on this end of the deal very much racing. There's a lot to this side of it also. And I appreciate this very much to get this opportunity and hope to get to do it again.
Well, you're certainly welcome up here anytime. Of course, we've had a couple of years more announcing than you have, but you've had a whole lot more years racing than I have. So we'll swap stories afterwards after the checkered flag flies. But thanks to Gary Ballou, our color commentator up here yesterday, last night, and today, 29-time modified winner. Won this event back in 1977. Here we come on a turn number 4. We go racing this Sunday afternoon again as the sun sets in Middletown, New York. Stuart Friesen takes off into the number 1 position. Friesen up on the top side, down the back straightaway, maintaining the distance right now. 5, 6, 7 car lengths the gap on the doctor, Danny Johnson. Johnson back there in the number 2 spot, running in the Shackleton Napa number 21 car, running a solidly second place run right now in the lineup. 3rd place is still Jimmy Phelps, the JMB car. He runs 3rd. 4th is Timmy Fuller. 5th is then Matt Williamson. 6th is the 1 car of Tyler Dimple. 7th place battle is on. Kenny Tremont's on the inside. Tremont runs the inside lane right now as they battle for spot number 7 down the back straightaway. Seventh place battle, 3 cars won it. Tremont's in 7th right now. Ronnie Johnson's on the outside, a super Matt Shepard. Shepard takes over spot number 7, and Ronnie Johnson trails behind. We are coming up on 10 laps to go as Little Chief Jerry Enright lets him know this time by. Friesen is the leader. Johnson is second. Phelps third. Fuller is fourth. Williams in fifth. Sixth is Dimple. Seventh is Tremont. Eighth is Shepard. Ninth is then Ronnie Johnson. 10th is Mike Mahaney. 11th, Max McLaughlin. 12th is Jess Zemkin. 13th is Gary Edwards. 14th is Bobby Barron. 15th, Matt Janiak. 16th is Brett Hearn. And then 17th is the 7 car of Rick Laubach. 18th is Tommy Heinley in the 17H car. So Heinley rides back there in spot number 18, about to lose that position to Kyle Armstrong, 19th. Hitchcock is 20th. Horton is 21st. Billy Pouch Jr. 22nd. Corey Lowen is 23rd. Marks 24th. And Mike Maresca back out on the speedway for spot number 25. 25 cars still on the speedway with just 8 laps remaining to the 2018 running of the Halmar International Arkell 200. Time winding down. Now is when you start hearing all the vibrations and noises in your race car. Trying to go the distance. Stuart Friesen for a $40,000 paycheck out here this afternoon from his boss from Halmar. Won't collect the bonus this year. Think of it this way. If Stewie wouldn't have had that mishap last night at Tech, he'd be up for another $10,000 from the boss tonight. Oh man, 3 years in a row. They keep the $10,000 clean sweep bonus in hand. So Friesen on the top side, takes it down the back straightaway now. The gap gets wider and wider between himself and Danny Johnson. Johnson all by himself, not much in front of him, not much behind him. Slowly at the top as he runs in spot number 2. We're coming up on 5 laps to go. 5 laps for the culmination of the 2018 racing season here at the legendary House of Power and the richest race in the 99-year history here at the Orange County Fair Speedway. Phelps still third, Timmy Fuller is fourth. Fifth is the 3 car, Matt Williams at Dimple 6th. Shepard 7th, Tremont is 8th. Ronnie Johnson is 9th, and Mike Mahaney rounds out the top 10 on the top side. 4 more laps remain to this afternoon's classic. Late race charge is on right now, but there's a big gap of space between the top 4 campaigners. Matt Williamson tries to reel in. 4th place running Timmy Fuller, the St. Lawrence Radiology car. He'll run out of time. 3 more laps remain right now. And Stuart Friesen, no doubt, wearing the beads off the rosary, hoping that everything holds together for just 3 laps on his trip to victory lane out here in the Halmar International 44 car. We are getting the 2 to go sign this time by. And it's 2 laps to $40,000 for Stewie Stuart Friesen. Second spot is still the 21J car of Danny Johnson. Third is the 98 car of Jimmy Phelps. Fourth is Timmy Fuller, the 19 car. And fifth is Matt Williamson aboard car number 3. It all comes down to a lap and a half here this afternoon at the historic Orange County Fair Speedway. The white flag will fly this time as leader Stuart Friesen rambles on a turn number 4. White flag comes out. 4 more left hand flicks of the wrist to a $40,000 paycheck this Sunday afternoon. Traveling on a turn number 2 right now is number 2 place man. That is the Dr. Danny Johnson. Third still Phelps. Fourth is Fuller and fifth is Williamson. Ladies and gentlemen, the richest race in the history of the Orange County Fair Speedway. $40,000. Make that check payable to Stewie Stuart Friesen. Second spot, Danny Johnson. Third is Jimmy Phelps. Fourth is Timmy Fuller and fifth is Matt Williamson.
This race to you?
Oh man, this is obviously the most historical, longest running modified race we have now.
Well, obviously, this is the granddaddy of the short track 200s, you know.
And it's the one. I've been coming here since I was a kid, and never honestly thought I'd even be racing dirt modifieds on the track. So just to have the opportunity to start the race is great.
A lot of people, family, friends come for the event. A lot of crew guys that put in long hours.
Everybody knows what Eastern States is. It's a hard race to learn, I think, and to be good at, and that's part of what makes it special too.
This event's huge, you know what I mean? It's been around forever, longer than anything we're doing right now.
Just the history here, they've been racing, over 100 years now, so that's a pretty cool part about it. And love coming here. The atmosphere is always cool. It's always a great party and a great race.
I remember coming here and sitting in the fourth-turn bleachers when I was 10 years old and watching the Eastern States 200.
This has always been a huge event. I mean, look at the history of the place and look at the people that have won it. And it's a big race, one of the big ones.
He moved up at least 27 notches. He may have been even better at the drop of the checkered flag, but we know he had at least a 27-notch advance from the start of this event, so we'll talk to him a little bit later on. After we get our victory lane ceremonies wrapped up. Stuart Friesen, what a drive out here this Sunday afternoon at the Orange County Fair Speedway. $40,000, the richest race ever in the 99-year history of this historic speed plant in Middletown, New York. He can take his time now. His job is done this Sunday afternoon.
Way to go, Stuart. Way to go, buddy.
Gary Ballou sending down wishes, congratulatory wishes from up there in the broadcast booth. He is the speed consultant for Halmar. And it's one of his drivers in victory lane out here at the Orange County Speedway. I'll put the banner up down here. Makes for great picture-taking opportunities here in victory lane at the Orange County Speedway. Wow, what a job he did out there this afternoon. Everything went like clockwork aboard the 44 Strategy for a trip to victory lane here in Middletown, New York. On this, the final event of the 2018 racing season in our 99th year of competition. Yeah, he can relax now. His work is behind him here this afternoon in Orange County. Mission accomplished for Halmar, Team Halmar. And here's his lovely wife, Jessica Zemkin Friesen, coming up to congratulate her husband. And her son, of course, down here being helped by family members, so it's a family reunion on victory lane. Jessica, wife of Stuart Friesen, they both ran this event. They both finished well. I think Jess finished at least 12th or 13th out here this afternoon, so she had a good run herself in the Halmar 1ZT's number 1Z car, holding their young son right now, and it's time for Daddy to come on out and enjoy the victory lane laurels that await him. I can see the smile from here. Pearly Whites are very happy out here, I'll tell you what. What a great job he did. He's waiting for the command to exit the cockpit of the 44 Big Block Modified. The backdrop is here, blowing in the breeze. As Team Halbar congratulates their driver on Eastern States weekend, climbing from the office out here this Sunday afternoon, the winner is Stuart Friesen. Oh, the family is happy. What a job they both did out here today. The young son can be proud as Friesen stands $40,000 richer on top of his work piece out here at the Orange County Speedway. That's the way to get the job done. Oh, yeah. Well, Stuart hops down off the office, and we'll get a couple of words with Stuart Friesen. It's a winning kiss from his lovely wife, Jess Empkin Friesen. Young son gets to hold the checkered flag. I'll tell you what, Stuart Friesen, boy, the boss put you to work out there this afternoon, and you got the job done in Middletown, New York.
Yeah, so what a race team. These guys are awesome. They work so hard. Obviously got to thank the boss and everything he's done for myself and my race team and this racetrack, and I know there's more to come, so super proud to get this win. You know, we struggled a little bit qualifying yesterday, and the boys worked hard, and man, I'm just so proud of them. We had a plan and stuck to it, and it paid off.
Yeah, some of the other drivers out there, some of the top names had some trouble. Of course, their strategy got ruined midway through the event, but you know, we had our eye on you the entire distance, and it looked like never throughout the 200 laps was there ever worries inside that car.
Well, there was a couple worries. Eric came on the radio and wasn't sure how much gas we got in it on that stop, and kind of wanted to come back in, and you know, as slick as the track was, I didn't think that was a good idea, so we stayed out and gambled, and it paid off. Man, I'm so proud of these guys. Thanks to DKM Race Cars, Billy the Kid Engines, Integra Shocks. Has been huge for us the last couple weeks, and man, I'm so proud. Our thoughts are with my buddy CG, who took a heck of a spill there in that Consi, and I know he's banged up a little bit. He's probably going to spend the night in the hospital, but he's going to be all right, and we'll ride some snowmobiles with him this winter, hopefully, and love him to death.
Stuart Friesen, of course, I'll tell you, tire wear was a concern by many teams out here when the sun went down. Gary Blue up there, who's our color commentator, he said, well, that might help you guys a little bit to keep the heat off those tires. You'll try and work them through the entire distance. Your right rear looks like you got about maybe 10 more laps of life to it. I mean, the center part's a little shabby, but about 10 more laps, and I'll tell you what, it might have been a different story out there.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I had to push pretty hard there at the beginning and pass some cars, and then after we pitted to kind of get ahead of the guys that pitted with us, to put ourselves ahead of that you know, cycle. You know, Shepard ran me up on that one restart and knocked us back, and we had to battle back there by the doctor, and man, it was crazy. That one last restart, after we ran a bunch of cautions, that the carb had loaded up, it was so cold, and the tires were cold, and the doc just about got back by me, but like I said, it was a great race. I'm proud of my race team, and man, we're gonna enjoy this one.
So everything cooled off on cautions except the driver, that's for sure. Hey, I got to tell you what, now you guys have in-car radio contact, but were you able to communicate with your lovely wife Jess at any point throughout the event?
No, not really. We kind of thought we were swap channels, but she had some radio problems, but she did a good job. I think she finished just outside the top 10, got qualified for the race, ran all 200 laps. You know, stuck to her strategy, which was to come in and, you know, get tires and do it that way. So she was there at the end, and I'm just so proud of her. It's been awesome. It's been a great season for us, and with the modified, and this caps it off.
Yeah, she ran the entire distance, ran back there around 12th or 13th at the checkered flag mark, so that's certainly a great accomplishment for a big track like this and a big race like this, and it's always a concern to know what's going on with the better half back there, of course, and if you had radio contact, at least she'd have told you what to stop and pick up on the way home at the grocery store, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're going to be picking up a couple 30-packs on the way home tonight.
All right, well, you got $40,000 to buy them. Stuart Friesen, the winner of the Eastern States 200. Here is something that we can only offer at the Eastern States 200 race, the annual winner's ring, as brought to us by Ray and Sharon Taraka from Esmer's Jewelers. They have got the winner's ring for Stuart Friesen. Ray and Sharon, come on up here. something that every big block modified driver wants to take home after a hard day's work at the Orange County Speedway. The big trophy is presented by Chris Larson from Halmar International, and that awesome customized ring from Spears Jewelers out of New Windsor, New York. They'll present that ring right now to big block modified winner Stuart Friesen. He tries it on. He says, hey, you got my size. All right, so Spears Jewelers coming out here and sizing up that ring for Stuart Friesen. He will walk home with that beautiful customized winner's ring that only one driver wins every Sunday afternoon of Eastern States. He's wearing it proudly right now, and boy, that baby is glistening. So not just $40,000, but also the several $1,000 winner's ring, as just brought to us by Ray and Sharon Chiraka, Spears Jewelers, Route 94, New Windsor, New York. Thank them again for their longtime sponsorship. Remember them when you go Christmas shopping this year. Give them a call. They'll work up a special price and a beautiful piece of jewelry for you. So, getting a picture taken right now is Stuart Friesen, young son in hand, checkered flag right there in his hand, and Ray and Sharon with the winner's ring and that huge trophy bigger than them all that was just given to him by his boss, Chris Larson out of Halmar International. What an afternoon it's been here at the Orange County Speedway. Victory Lane ceremonies continue down here on hallowed grounds on the 5/8 mile hard clay.